The memory of that wooing sound still hangs in the air, a ghost of the tiger's leap. Master's sudden stillness was the only warning before the calm shattered. Now the storm breaks for Qingxian and the others. If you felt it coming, leave a like. Don't get left behind. Tiger ran past him, leaping into the other's embrace with a wooing sound, crying incessantly, as if terribly wronged. The four of Qingxian Master all looked at Jiang Fan, in shock. The implication being, what did you do to the little tiger? Jiang Fan's face was dark, even his heart wanted to curse. I didn't do anything to it, just patted its bottom a few times. Who knew it would cry like this? The one holding it was a young woman in her 30s, with her hair styled in a fallen horse bun, wearing a yellow, long dress. Her figure was not particularly tall, but very well proportioned. On her pretty face, there was a pervasive chill. Her sharp and spirited eyes were coldly fixed on Jiang Fan. A voice, suppressing fury, came from her mouth. You really are something, reaching all the way to my home and bullying my son. Get inside, all of you, she exclaimed lightly. An unimaginable, enormous gust swept the four of them inside the main hall. The yellow-clothed woman also carried the crying little tiger and stepped into the hall, with a flick of her sleeve. The door of the hall closed with a bang. This move made Jiang Fan's heart beat fiercely. Qingxian Master, at the second stage nascent soul, had no power to resist at all. What realm is this woman? Everyone got up, all showing an expression of impending doom. Not daring to breathe, the yellow-clothed woman gently patted the little tiger in her arms and said softly, "All right, stop crying. Tell Mom what happened." The little tiger immediately pointed at Jiang Fan fiercely, then at its own backside, saying something in a guttural whine. Only then did the yellow-clothed woman notice the little tiger's skin on its butt was red, instantly glaring coldly at Jiang Fan. That glance made Jiang Fan feel a pain all over, like being torn apart. Frightened at heart, he immediately said, "Sis, let me explain. It dropped something, I came to return it, but it misunderstood me as a bad guy and bit me. I had no choice but to spank it. If I had malice, I would have just killed it already." "Sis." Qingxian Master looked at Jiang Fan in astonishment, as if seeing him anew. "Not it. Are you really calling her that so naturally? Is this guy really an honest person, returning something?" The yellow-clothed woman's brows furrowed slightly. Suddenly she noticed that the tiger hair next to the little tiger's lychee had been clipped. She couldn't help but be startled. Annoyed, she asked, "Who did it?" The little tiger fiercely pointed at Jiang Fan. "Oh, come on." Jiang Fan was annoyed. "How could you lie? With my cultivation, you were at 4 Aperture's nascent soul realm at the time. Could I possibly clip your tiger hair?" Upon hearing this, the little tiger was even angrier, pointing at Jiang Fan and chattering non-stop. "Meaning it's him, it's him." The yellow-clothed woman seemingly realized the little tiger was being spiteful towards Jiang Fan, intentionally wronging him. This was clearly caused by some powerful spiritual artifact. Jiang Fan, being just a small core formation, is unlikely to harm a nascent soul realm son. Immediately, she tapped its backside lightly and ordered, "No lying." The little tiger cried out in pain, tears welling up. Jiang Fan showed a schadenfreude expression. "Little brain tiger, you still want to falsely accuse me?" Then his eyes shifted and he said, "Sis, the thing I'm returning is this gourd. It fell halfway. I picked it up, chasing all the way to return it. Taking it out now is better than being accused by the little tiger. Anyway, he secretly kept 10 drops. With that slight amount missing, the yellow-clothed woman might not notice it. Surprised to see it, she grabbed it instantly. Weighing it slightly less, she finally breathed a sigh of relief, scolding the little tiger. "You dropped such an important thing? We only have so much of it." "What?" The little tiger angrily gestured towards Jiang Fan and pointed at its own neck, revealing the truth. The yellow-clothed woman frowned. "You claim he stole it." Yu Peiyuan wasn't happy hearing this. Glaring at the little tiger, she carefully addressed the yellow-clothed woman. "Senior, my junior brother Jiang is simple and kind-hearted. Previously, he found treasures and didn't know how to hoard them, instead inviting me to share. He picked up your son's belongings, chased after him to return it. Isn't that the most normal thing? Senior, you should really ask if your son is lying." "Is that so?" The yellow-clothed woman looked at Jiang Fan with slight surprise. "In this world, is there really such an honest and simple person? Whoever sees a treasure and doesn't want to keep it for themselves, actually sharing it with someone else. This isn't merely simplicity, it's foolishness. If that's the case, finding the gourd and returning it does make sense, combined with the little tiger previously lying and framing Jiang Fan. So no matter how you look at it, it seems the little tiger is lying again. She tapped the little tiger's bottom again, scolding, "Who taught you to be bad?" "Full of lies," Woo, the little tiger cried aggrievedly. This time it really didn't lie. Suddenly it noticed Jiang Fan secretly laughing gleefully. Furious, it wiped away its tears and became aggressive. This bastard. Even Mother was deceived by him. But what infuriated it more was Jiang Fan deliberately acting like a good person, sighing helplessly, "Sister, don't hit it. It's actually not a bad thing that it knows to be wary of people. There are too many bad people outside, it's good to be a little cautious. As for being misunderstood by others, I'm used to it." The little tiger was so angry it was about to explode. "You are the biggest bad person. Mother, please don't be deceived by this bad guy." The yellow-clothed woman already looked at him differently. Being wronged by her son, not only was he not angry, but he also spoke up for him. What a simple and somewhat foolish human clan boy. The coldness in her eyes completely vanished. "Fine, considering you returned the gourd, stay aside for now." The yellow-clothed woman intended to let Jiang Fan go. But when she looked at the four of you Peiyuan, there was a flicker of coldness in her eyes. "As for you all, since you trespassed in my master's forbidden area, don't think of leaving here alive." "What?" The faces of the four of Qingxian master changed drastically. They couldn't run away, nor could they fight, which would mean a quicker death. For a moment they were extremely frightened. The yellow-clothed woman coldly pointed to the magma pool in the center of the hall, snorting. "I'll give you a quick choice. Jump in and do your best to cover the furnace. If I have to take action, you will find no way to live and no relief in death." Everyone looked at the pool of rolling blue magma in the center, and their faces changed dramatically. The blue flames emitted by the magma could instantly burn them to ashes, let alone the furnace in the center. Their faces were deathly pale. The yellow-clothed woman showed no trace of pity. Her gaze swept across them and landed on Yu Peiyuan. "You're the weakest, let's start with you." Yu Peiyuan's face turned ashen, her delicate body trembled violently. Her legs trembled uncontrollably, and she cast a helpless look for help at her master, Qingxian master. Qingxian master could scarcely save himself, let alone his disciple. He could only turn his head, pretending not to see. Tears welled up in Yu Peiyuan's eyes, and she looked towards her senior brother, Wei Kaoran. The other was even less willing to intervene. At this moment, Yu Peiyuan was in despair. She cast a pleading gaze at the yellow-clothed woman, but the latter remained indifferent, coldly saying, "Since you're unwilling to go, I'll send you down myself." She waved her hand casually, and a gust of wind swept up Yu Peiyuan, sending her flying into the pool. She smiled sadly, closed her eyes in despair, her heart full of bitterness. Finally reaching this point today, she was only a step away from achieving the nascent soul. Yet she was going to fall here. What a miserable way to die by burning alive. Just as she was bracing for the impending excruciating pain, suddenly her waist tightened. She was pulled back from the edge of the pool by a strong hand. When she opened her eyes, it was Jiang Fan. "Junior brother Jiang, are you crazy?" Rescuing someone in front of that tigress, this was defying her. She would send Jiang Fan down too, sure enough. The yellow-clothed woman's gaze turned cold, and she said sternly, "Do you also want to go down?" Her impression of Jiang Fan had just improved, but now her expression turned icy again. Jiang Fan stabilized Yu Peiyuan, hastily saying, "Sister, don't rush. I can help suppress this furnace." Yu Peiyuan is such a good girl. How could Jiang Fan bear to see her die? If necessary, he could only reveal a little. "I'm easy to fool. A mere member of the Little People clan, capable of suppressing the runaway fire furnace of his master. Even other divinity transformation experts wouldn't dare say that." She began to doubt Jiang Fan's previous promise to return the gourd. Even Yu Peiyuan was taken aback. This fire furnace, even her master couldn't deal with it, right? How could Jiang Fan manage it? "Junior brother Jiang, don't be reckless for my sake, you could just be fine." Yu Peiyuan was completely moved. A shimmer of light flickered in her eyes. Encountering life-threatening danger, her master didn't save her, and her senior brother was powerless. Yet it was Jiang Fan, a stranger by chance, who stood up for her. Thinking of this, she suddenly felt that dying wasn't too lonely. At least, before dying, someone cared about her. With a bite of resolve, she leapt herself into the magma pool. But a long sword the size of a finger, ice crystal-colored, was faster than her. It was none other than the Tingsu sword from Baixuan's sword master. The coldness it possessed could instantly freeze even the Xianxian first-class building owner. As the sword was just thrown down, the ice dragon engraved on it sensed danger and instantly came alive. Seeing Jiang Fan throw himself into the fire pool, it immediately roared at him, no need to say. Jiang Fan got scolded again. The ice dragon also perceived the high temperatures and immediately exhaled ice breath. The entire magma pool froze in an instant. Yu Peiyuan, who had leapt, landed on the ice block, falling with an ouch. She felt like she had split her bottom. The pain was numbing. Jiang Fan ran over with a chuckle and quickly pulled her back. It wasn't over yet. Indeed, the blue flames below quickly melted the ice. The ice dragon exhaled again to freeze it. This repeated 4 or 5 times. The scorching magma pool was visibly cooling down. Oh my, it's really suppressed. The yellow-clothed woman threw away the little tiger in her arms excitedly. Pressing her hands against her chest, her eyes were full of bright radiance. She looked exceedingly delighted. Jiang Fan felt a bit of heartache. Taking out the ice sword meant he wouldn't get it back. This sword, both Qingxian Master and Evil Pupil Master had already seen it. Jiang Fan dared to hold it, and once out, they dared to openly snatch it. The relic of Baixuan's sword master, who wouldn't be tempted. Of course. The Tingsu sword now in Jiang Fan's possession, he couldn't wield it. It was like scrap metal. Using it here to save lives was something he could accept. He chuckled lightly. Sis, didn't I say I had a way? The yellow-clothed woman was surprised that Jiang Fan, a Little People clansman, possessed such a formidable spirit sword. Then she couldn't help but feel grateful. What's your name? Jiang Fan. A trace of a smile finally appeared on the usually cold face of the yellow-clothed woman. I am the spiritual pet of the owner of this relic. The master always called me Bai Luo. Jiang Fan quickly said, Sister Bai. Bai Luo looked at the gradually extinguishing fire pool, sincerely gratified. Before the master left, he sealed us husband and wife in an ageless crystal coffin. A while ago, the Beihai Demon clan accidentally activated the array, leading us to wake up unexpectedly. Along with that, this fire furnace also awoke, ceaselessly spewing magma. In another half a month, the magma it spews would engulf this relic. And my newborn child, we would be left with no option but to await death. Jiang Fan remembered how the little tiger stopped at the flame gate and didn't pursue further. He had a guess in mind and tested. Sister Bai, why don't you leave? With your strength, finding a mountain to rule who would dare provoke you. Bai Luo glanced warily at Qingxian Master without answering. Apparently it was close to what Jiang Fan had guessed. Jiang Fan, you have saved us mother and daughter. With this sword suppressing this fire furnace poses no more threat. It's a pity this fire furnace is locked here, and I can't take it out otherwise I'd let you take it, a gift to you, and eradicate the threat forever. That statement made the hearts of Qingxian Master and others thump. This fire furnace was definitely the core of the relic. It was highly likely the life-bound magical treasure of a divinity transformation expert, its level unknown. The other party actually had the intention to give it to Jiang Fan. Unfortunately, the chains on the fire furnace were not ordinary items. Even the tigress was powerless against them. Otherwise, giving it to Jiang Fan once they left, they could force him to hand it over. The corners of Jiang Fan's mouth twitched. If truly given to him, he wouldn't want it either. That's not a treasure, but a death sentence. The 2 nascent soul experts behind him were no pushovers. Even dealing with Evil Pupil Master was challenging, not to mention Qingxian Master. Sister Bai, you're too polite. I dare not ask for too much, just that Sister Bai release my senior sister Yu, giving us a way out. He only intended to save Yu Peiyuan. As for others, he didn't care about their life or death. Bai Luo felt a bit embarrassed and said, Scolding you earlier was also out of concern that my child might be hurt by you. Since my child is unharmed, naturally I won't do anything to you or your friend. With that said, she took Yu Peiyuan's hand and said, Little sister, sorry about earlier. Here's a small gift for you as compensation. A blue seed immediately appeared in Yu Peiyuan's palm, emitting a considerably powerful vitality. I see you're not far from the nascent soul realm, right? In the future, when crossing tribulation, swallow this blue seed. It can provide you with sufficient vitality. Even if you fail the tribulation, you can rely on it to maintain unbroken vitality. The dangers of tribulation crossing are beyond words. The Beihai Crown Prince, with the Demon Emperor at his side, almost lost his life. Even in a great sect like Heaven and Sea Pavilion, many have lost their lives due to tribulations. No one dares guarantee survival through tribulation. The preciousness of the blue seed is self-evident. Qingxian Master's eyes flashed with keen interest. He and his disciples had accumulated quite a few merits over the years, barely enough to redeem a chance for tribulation crossing in the sect. But he never dared to redeem it easily. because although he had several disciples at ninth layer perfection, he had no idea who would most likely succeed in breaking through. Now, Yu Peiyuan, ahead of other disciples, possessed this blue seed. Undoubtedly, she became his priority choice. Wei Keoran immediately realized the significance of this. He couldn't help but look at Yu Peiyuan with envy. Why? Just because she spent some time with Jiang Fan, she got such an overwhelming benefit. Thinking of this, he felt somewhat remorseful. Initially, his master had assigned him to monitor Jiang Fan. He had handed it over to his junior sister by himself, resulting in benefits for the junior sister for nothing. Ah, senior, I dare not accept this, it's too precious. Yu Peiyuan naturally understood the significance of the seed. She looked overwhelmed with favor. Bai Luo smiled. Accept it since it's given to you. Because you are Jiang Fan's friend? Yu Peiyuan then joyfully accepted it. Her gaze at Jiang Fan was filled with gratitude. Not to mention saving her life, but she also gained such a great opportunity because of Jiang Fan. This trip to the Divinity Transformation relics. The greatest opportunity should be meeting Jiang Fan. Bai Luo then looked at Jiang Fan with a grateful expression. Since you call me sis, then I must not treat you poorly. 8th layer of core formation, your cultivation is a bit weak. With that, she slightly opened her mouth, and a demon core with tiger stripes slowly flew out, hovering above Jiang Fan's head. Threads of essence dripped from the demon core, enveloping him. Jiang Fan immediately felt a warm sensation all over his body. The golden core within him started spinning rapidly, absorbing the essence that merged into his body. After a short while, a powerful whirlwind of spiritual energy swirled around his body, with a muffled sound. The golden core suddenly expanded. A sense of oppression from the 9th layer of core formation surged out from Jiang Fan's body. The 9th layer of core formation, just like that, he broke through. Wei Keoran's face showed a look of shock. Anyone who reached the 9th layer of core formation did so through hard cultivation. Even he, with the backing of the Heaven and Sea Pavilion, steadily accumulated merit and resources before advancing. Jiang Fan, on the other hand, reached it in one fell swoop. Yu Peiyuan smiled approvingly and said, Junior brother Jiang truly has unexpected blessings. So many prodigies in Taikang State are stuck at the 8th layer of core formation. Yet he broke through just like that. Qingxian Master also showed a hint of surprise. Granting power directly to enhance a Jiden Junior's cultivation is something rarely heard of in Taikang State, because it depletes the essence of a late-stage nascent soul expert, and the gain is limited to the core formation stage. It's not worth it. So even for their own descendants, those powerful late-stage nascent soul elders wouldn't do such a deficit-incurring thing. Now, this late-stage demon emperor mother tigress was repaying a debt, sparing no effort in depleting her nascent soul essence to directly help Jiang Fan elevate his realm. Jiang Fan truly is fortunate. Seeing his breakthrough, Bai Luo retracted the now visibly dimmed demon core and said, I cannot assist you in advancing further. Otherwise, it would destabilize your foundation, which would be harmful rather than beneficial. Jiang Fan, feeling unprecedented power, was filled with awe and cupped his fists, saying, Thank you, Sister Bai. Bai Luo nodded and said, Reaching the perfect realm will depend on your own efforts. Remember, the deeper you hone it, the better. This way, your chances of success during tribulation will be higher, and the benefits post-tribulation will be greater. My master once honed the perfect realm to an unparalleled level. During his breakthrough, he directly opened the second stage nascent soul, pioneering something unprecedented, breaking directly into second stage nascent soul. This sounds too defiant to believe. Others barely survive by the skin of their teeth to reach the nascent soul and are extremely excited. Yet the owner of this relic shocked the world by directly reaching the second stage nascent soul realm. However, to hone it like her master did, there must be special methods involved. Otherwise, those elders who have lingered at the 9th layer of core formation for decades, why haven't they progressed to the second stage nascent soul? We can't possibly say that their perfect realm wasn't honed deeply enough, can we? All right, I understand. Jiang Fan nodded firmly. Bai Luo then took out 2 blue seeds, placed them in Jiang Fan's palm, and said, Utilize these 2 wisely. Do not give them to anyone else. Understood? Jiang Fan felt a slight confusion. He sensed something was off. During tribulation, just 1 seed is enough. Why give 2? And warn him not to give them away. Could it be that the extra seed contains a hidden mystery? He accepted them without revealing his thoughts, saying, Thanks, Sister Bai. Bai Luo looked at Jiang Fan, her eyes full of gratitude. I will not keep you and this lady any longer. Otherwise, when my husband returns, you two won't be able to leave. He's not as easygoing as I am. Jiang Fan's pupils shrank. There's another tiger, suddenly. He recalled the North Sea Demon Emperor mentioning a formidable creature escaping from the divinity transformation relics. It slaughtered many strong members of the North Sea demon race. Could it be that the creature is Bai Luo's husband? Thinking about their inability to leave the divinity transformation relics, Jiang Fan formed a hypothesis. It's not that they can't leave, but once they do, their strength rapidly declines. That male tiger summons swarms of venomous insects and causes chaos outside the North Sea. It's actually to prevent anyone from entering the divinity transformation relics and disrupting their lives. Realizing this, he dared not hesitate, immediately pulling Yu Peiyuan and saying, "Senior sister Yu, let's leave." The mother tigress is already formidable. How weak could the male tigress be? Yu Peiyuan glanced at Qingxian master, saying, "But my master and the others." Bai Luo's face was expressionless as she said, "They can't leave anymore." She let Jiang Fan and Yu Peiyuan go because Jiang Fan saved their family of 3. As for these 3, since they dared to come, they shouldn't expect to leave. Upon hearing this, evil pupil master's face changed drastically. He thought he could benefit from Jiang Fan's presence and leave together. But at this moment, Bai Luo seemed to have a premonition, her face changing abruptly. "Not good, my husband is back. Surely your disturbance in the relic prompted its return." She looked anxious. If her husband discovered Jiang Fan and Yu Peiyuan, he definitely wouldn't let them leave. Glancing around, she quickly grabbed the 2 and hid them behind the dragon chair, anxiously saying, "Do not make a sound, otherwise even I can't save you." Just as she finished speaking, the doors of the hall swung open. A robust, bare-chested man emitting a terrifying aura stormed into the hall. Seeing Qingxian master and the other 2, his face turned sinister. "Damned creatures! How dare you intrude into my home, courting death?" With a cold snort. The 3 were overwhelmed by a terrifying pressure, forced to kneel on the ground. Their hearts filled with dread. The male tiger's strength was 3 times more powerful than the mother tigress. Bai Luo quickly intervened. "Huang Quan, don't worry, I have already controlled them. Our child is safe." It turns out the male tiger is named Huang Quan. He glaringly fixed his gaze on the 3, coldly saying, "Even after I summoned venomous insects, you recklessly barged in here. In that case, there's no need to leave. Stay here obediently." Suddenly, he noticed something unusual in the palace. The temperature had noticeably dropped. Scanning the fire pool, he was shocked. Where did this sword come from? And it suppressed the master's furnace? Bai Luo nervously fiddled with her hair, saying, "A treasure they discovered on them." Huang Quan scrutinized the group. Qingxian master and Wei Kaoran would naturally not implicate Jiang Fan and Yu Peiyuan. They were ensnared themselves. Why drag Yu Peiyuan into it? But evil pupil master wouldn't let it go. Why should he die while Jiang Fan gets to live? If death is inevitable, let everyone die together. He was about to speak. However, he noticed Bai Luo staring at him coldly, scaring him into keeping his malicious intent in check. Exposing Jiang Fan would surely mean Jiang Fan's death, but he would die before Jiang Fan, and die miserably. Seeing their silence, Huang Quan turned his gaze back to the fire pool. A look of joy appeared in his eyes. "Ha ha ha! Heaven didn't abandon our family of 3. Bai Luo, we can stay in the relic now and live peacefully. No one will disturb us again." Bai Luo echoed his smile. But suddenly, her eyelid twitched, noticing the little tiger climbing onto the platform with its short legs. Its little head peered behind the dragon chair, its mouth letting out howling sounds as if alerting its father to someone hiding there. Immediately after, Jiang Fan gave its round little head a punch, sending it rolling off the platform. The commotion caught Huang Quan's attention at once. What's wrong?" Huang Quan looked suspiciously at the dragon chair. Bai Luo was startled and quickly rushed forward to pick up the little tiger, covering its big mouth before it could report Jiang Fan. She patted its butt. "You're being naughty again? That's the master's dragon chair. I've told you no playing, no playing. Did you fall off again this time?" Ooh, the little tiger felt aggrieved, wanting to call out but couldn't speak. It looked utterly pitiful. Huang Quan helplessly rubbed the little tiger's head. "Little Hu, stop making your mama worry." The little tiger was about to cry without tears. "Dad, Mama's not worried about me. She's worried about that big bad guy." Bai Luo hastily said, "Huang Quan, I don't know how many have come in. Maybe there are still some hiding in the relics. For our family's safety, quickly go and search." Hearing this, Huang Quan immediately showed a fierce look in his eyes. He snorted, "Watch little who." He stormed out of the hall. Bai Luo finally felt a sense of relief. She coldly pinched the little tiger's butt. "You little ungrateful thing. Jiang Fan has been good to us and you still want to harm him. You're just like your father up to no good." Then she turned to the dragon chair. "Jiang Fan, hurry and leave while my husband is gone. Don't let him find you whatever you do." Jiang Fan immediately pulled Yu Peiyuan out. He thanked Bai Luo again. "Thank you, Sister Bai, for protecting us." That Huang Quan really wasn't a kind person. If it weren't for Bai Luo's efforts to cover up, he'd be in trouble. Then he rubbed the round head of the little tiger with a smile. "Little guy, got beaten again, huh?" The little tiger was so angry it went crazy, struggling to come out and bite Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan found it incredibly amusing and said, "Sister Bai, I'll take my leave now." He reluctantly stole a glance at the Tingsu sword in the pool. For now, he couldn't take it. Bai Luo urged, "Still thinking about that sword, huh? I'll find a way to return it to you once the furnace cools down completely." Jiang Fan's eyes lit up and said, "Okay, then we'll get going." He quickly came to the front of the hall. Bai Luo helped to open the hall doors. "Turn invisible if you can and leave quickly." Her words suddenly stopped. Because at the entrance, Huang Quan stood with arms crossed, watching them coldly. I knew it, there was a strange blood scent. "So, it's you too." Bai Luo's heart skipped a beat, her face changed drastically, and she said, "Huang Quan, listen to me. This young master Jiang means no harm to us. He's the one who sealed the furnace with that sword. Please spare his life." A savage glint appeared in Huang Quan's eyes. "Spare him. Humph, such womanly compassion. Since you dared to enter the relics, you must die. No exceptions." As his voice fell, he suddenly struck towards Jiang Fan. The supreme power of the demon emperor suffocated Jiang Fan. It was as if a mortal were facing a landslide. He was utterly defenseless. Bai Luo gritted her teeth, once again throwing away the little tiger to block the blow, and said, "Run fast. I'll hold him off." Huang Quan shouted angrily, "Are you crazy? You're helping outsiders." Jiang Fan was deeply moved. Bai Luo was actually willing to oppose her husband for him. With gratitude in his heart, he said nothing more and pulled Yu Peiyuan to escape. Qingxian Master and the other two, seeing the situation, wouldn't miss the chance to flee. They rushed out of the hall in a hurry. Jiang Fan didn't care about anything, continuously utilizing cloud shadow, and in a few breaths flashed to the flame gate. Without thinking, he dashed out. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief. Not long after, Qingxian Master, Evil Pupil Master, and Wei Kaoran also ran out in a sorry state. From the relics, roars of anger resonated. It was the dissatisfied roar of the male tiger. Probably at this moment they are arguing with Bai Luo. Jiang Fan looked worried. Could Bai Luo end up injured? Luckily they are husband and wife. It shouldn't get too serious. "Jiang Fan, I'm relieved you're all right." The North Sea Demon Emperor waited outside, showing a look of gratitude. "Earlier, that creature disturbing my North Sea escaped inside while I wasn't paying attention. Fortunately, you're unharmed." Jiang Fan twitched his lips. The danger within the ruins is far more than just the creature faced by the North Sea Demon Emperor. There were two late-stage nascent soul realm tiger demons. In addition to a cute and fierce little tiger, the family of three guarded this ruin. The Beihai Demon clan was truly lucky. Last time, right until they left, the two tiger demons awoke. Otherwise, everyone who went in would have perished inside. This time I didn't get anything and nearly lost my life. Evil Pupil Master had a face as gloomy as water. The flame mark he had tricked to obtain was close to costing him his life. In contrast, Jiang Fan not only had his cultivation soar, but also acquired 2 blue seeds. Thinking of this, his expression turned unkind. "Jiang Fan, do you really feel good taking 2 seeds for yourself? Hand one over." Actually, what he was more concerned about was Jiang Fan's space storage device. This guy could actually produce a spirit sword of extremely high grade. The amount of his collection was quite surprising. Additionally, he never believed that Jiang Fan only harvested half of the demon infant fruit in the ruins. Jiang Fan's eyes turned cold. In front of those 2 old tigers, being obedient like a grandson, didn't dare to make a sound. Yet now outside you're showing off. Yu Peiyuan was also upset. This evil pupil master is just too shameless, isn't he? To openly demand Jiang Fan's spoils, she said to Qingxian Master. "Master, were it not for junior brother Jiang suppressing the fire pond and winning the gratitude of the mother tiger, then blocking the father tiger, we might have all died in there." Evil pupil isn't grateful and is even threatening junior brother Jiang. You can't stand by and watch, can you? Qingxian master originally didn't want to involve himself in their disputes. But thinking about it, even though Jiang Fan didn't care about the lives or deaths of him and Wei Kaoran, he had nothing bad to say about his own female disciple. Moreover, he saved her and helped her obtain a precious blue seed. Indeed, it wouldn't feel right to do nothing. Evil pupil, don't you have disciples participating in the heavenly ascending ancient road? Go back and make some preparations for them. Every step of that road is fraught with danger. There was a sense of being expelled. Evil pupil master deeply gazed at Jiang Fan, then smiled at Qingxian master. This time, thanks to Senior Qingxian for protection. Soon I will certainly visit to express my thanks. Then I'll take my leave now. After speaking, he flew out of the vast sea, turning into a residual shadow. Only then did Qingxian master take out a healing pill and swallow it, his face bitter. Evil pupil master just didn't harvest anything. Not only did I get nothing, but the divine artifact golden Jiao scissors from this pavilion fell into the hands of that mother tiger. Alas, I don't know how to explain when we return. And what a pity for that fire furnace. I actually recognized that furnace. It ranked on the 100 spirit list as a top-grade spiritual artifact. It's a pity we can never enter that ruin again. He said this with great pain. Jiang Fan was shocked. Top-grade spiritual artifact. No wonder Baixuan Sword Master's Tingsu sword couldn't suppress it completely. That furnace really has such a significant background. North Sea Demon Emperor smiled bitterly. How could he not hear that these words were directed at him? As the host, how could he stand by and watch his faraway friends from Heaven and Sea Pavilion leave empty-handed? Immediately he took out some resources and said, Senior Qingxian, these are things my clan has discovered before. A little token given to your beloved disciples. I hope they won't mind. Only then did Qingxian master's face improve slightly, and he said, Kaoran, pay Yuan, hurry and thank the Demon Emperor. The two joyfully accepted, thanking repeatedly. The Demon Emperor is very considerate. Qingxian master cupped his hands and said, We've disturbed you throughout this journey. We'll take our leave now. He took out the Golden Cloud spirit boat and called the two disciples aboard. Yu Peiyuan looked reluctant, her red lips pursed slightly as she said, Master, could you take junior brother Jiang as a disciple? Let's bring him back to Heaven and Sea Pavilion with us. Jiang Fan felt a chill in his heart. He didn't dare to join Qingxian master's sect. This person was not as upright as the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion master. He wasn't exactly evil, but he definitely wasn't a good person either. From wanting to monitor Jiang Fan, to standing by when Yu Peiyuan was in danger, to hitting up the North Sea Demon Emperor for resources. All these signs showed that this was a very smooth and calculating person. If he joined under him, he feared he'd end up like the evil pupil master who coveted his space storage device. Qingxian master's eyes twinkled slightly. Clearly, he was tempted. But thinking of the loss of the golden Jiao scissors, he wondered how the sect would deal with him. It weighed on his mind, and he had no thoughts of accepting disciples for the moment. Let's wait until he has a chance to come to Taikang State. I still have troublesome matters to handle back at the Heaven and Sea Pavilion. Yu Peiyuan looked disappointed. Reluctantly, she said to Jiang Fan, Junior brother Jiang, remember to find your senior sister when you come to Taikang State. I will look out for you. Jiang Fan cupped his hands and smiled. Thank you, senior sister, take care. Yu Peiyuan waved her hand. You too, I'll be waiting for you in Taikang State, as the Golden Cloud spirit boat sailed away. The group's silhouettes disappeared from view. Jiang Fan exhaled slightly. Luckily, Qingxian master didn't agree to take him as a disciple. Otherwise, he'd have to think of a way to get out of it without offending anyone. Young Master Jiang, this emperor will also give you some resources. The North Sea Demon Emperor took out some excellent cultivation resources. They were all beneficial to the late stage of core formation, even better than what was given to Wei Kaoran and Yu Peiyuan. The Heaven and Sea Pavilion is our North Sea's support, so when they asked for some resources, I had to give a bit. But little friend Jiang is my son's lifesaver. How could I not reward you generously? Take it all. Jiang Fan had already gained enough this time. He said, Demon Emperor, your North Sea has already suffered greatly from the influence of that fierce creature. Keep these for your clansmen. But the North Sea Demon Emperor insisted on pushing them into his hands, saying, Child, how could I let you leave empty-handed? Jiang Fan looked grateful. After thinking for a moment, he took out the completely intact 9-dragon bronze chariot and a portion of water source essence. I was lucky and didn't encounter any unbeatable danger. This chariot is returned to you," seeing the chariot intact and the water source essence unused. The North Sea Demon Emperor was very pleased. He had always been worried that Jiang Fan might lose the chariot in the ruins. If that were the case, the Beihai divine artifact would be forever lost in the ruins. Jiang Fan thought for a moment and took out the pill recipe for the cold cicada silence pill. This pill recipe was already known to the East, South, and West Seas. Even if he didn't give it to the North Sea, he believed the other 3 seas would soon share it with the North Sea. There was no need to keep it hidden any longer. North Sea Demon Emperor, do you know why the Demon Emperors of the East, South, and West Seas became sworn brothers with me? The North Sea Demon Emperor chuckled, not hiding anything, and said, "Actually, I have also thought about it, but I couldn't find the reason. I'm not sure about the West Sea Demon Emperor, but the Yizhu Demon Emperor and the Old Dream Demon Emperor, they certainly wouldn't take in a godbrother. Their statuses are sensitive and quite reserved. Other men find it hard to even get close. Such acts of taking in a godbrother don't seem like something they would do." Jiang Fan smiled. He placed the cold cicada silence pill recipe into his hand, saying, "This is the reason." The North Sea Demon Emperor looked in surprise. Soon his pupils contracted. "Cold cicada silence pill recipe," Jiang Fan said. "It is gifted to you, North Sea, so that all 4 seas can free themselves from Sanking Mountain." The North Sea Demon Emperor was deeply shaken. This explained everything. No wonder the 3 Sea Demon Emperors all became sworn brothers with Jiang Fan. This pill recipe could change the fate of an entire Sea Demon clan. They became sworn brothers as their highest gratitude to Jiang Fan. He was so excited that he trembled from head to toe, saying, "Little friend Jiang." "No, brother Jiang. From today, you are also the sworn godbrother of the North Sea Demon Emperor. Additionally, you are conferred as the North Sea King with a different surname. From now on, wherever you go, you can carry the title of the Beihai King." Jiang Fan rubbed his nose. Another Sea King title acquired, but naturally he wasn't going to refuse another Demon Emperor as an older brother. Cupping his hands, he said, "Little brother Jiang Fan pays respects. I don't know what my brother's Dao name is." He felt awkward inside. Come to think of it, everyone called the North Sea Demon Emperor by his title, not his Dao name, right? Could it be another embarrassing Dao name? The North Sea Demon Emperor was immediately embarrassed. Ahum. Since you're sworn brothers with the West Sea Demon Emperor, you must have heard his Dao name. The embarrassment isn't mine alone. My Dao name is Tearful Demon Emperor." Jiang Fan almost burst out laughing. This North Sea Demon Emperor did indeed cry quite a bit. When his son was in danger, he cried more than the Empress. Being called Tearful Demon Emperor was rather fitting. But as he laughed, he couldn't keep laughing anymore. He was already at the 9th layer of core formation, not far from breaking into the nascent soul realm. When the time came, what if his own Dao name was equally embarrassing? Thinking of this, he put on a serious face and said, "I'll just call you Brother Bei from now on. For now, stop laughing at others. And hope that when his Dao name turns out unsightly, his brothers would laugh at him a little less." The North Sea Demon Emperor firmly grasped his arm, his face full of gratification, and said, "Brother Jiang." Suddenly, he noticed Jiang Fan still holding the 9-dragon bronze chariot and with a clenched jaw said, "The pill recipe is so precious, there's no way I can just take it for free. Keep using the 9-dragon bronze chariot. When you feel it's no longer needed, you can return it to us." Jiang Fan was overjoyed and delighted. This item was a life-saving divine artifact, along with the power of a dragon's soul at the Demon Emperor realm. It was exactly what he needed most. "Thank you, Brother Bei." The North Sea Demon Emperor subtly nodded. Finally, he gave a regretful glance at the flame gate behind him. "It's a pity this place can never be entered again. The golden Jiao scissors of the Heaven and Sea Pavilion and the furnace of the Divinity Transformation Expert will be buried in there forever. All right, let's head back to the North Sea first." Jiang Fan nodded slightly. He still wanted to meet the Prince of Beihai. This opportunity to gain so much was largely thanks to the map he provided. He needed to properly thank him and take the chance to ask for that remnant bamboo slip. He summoned water currents, sweeping Jiang Fan away. Along the way, the Demon Emperor opened the way ahead while he silently took stock of his gains at the back. The first things he took out were those 2 blue seeds. He felt that since Bai Luo gave 2 seeds and specifically instructed not to give them away, it must hold some special meaning. He placed the 2 seeds in front of him to compare closely. As a result, He indeed found something odd about one of them, because one of them was emitting a faint, imperceptible spatial fluctuation. Space storage device? Jiang Fan's heart pounded. He probed with his mind, and indeed found a space. Although very small, just the size of a suckling pig. But it held two items. The first was a palm-sized pair of golden scissors, the golden Jiao scissors. Jiang Fan nearly shouted out in excitement. It turned out, Bai Luo had quietly entrusted the divine artifact of the heaven and sea pavilion to Jiang Fan. Sister Bai! Jiang Fan's heart was immediately filled with mixed emotions. He only subdued the furnace out of necessity, yet she wholeheartedly repaid him. Although the human heart is treacherous, occasionally an unintended brilliance makes him feel warmth. Thank you. Jiang Fan's eyes softened, murmuring softly. And then he looked at the second item. It was a black, pill-like object. What is this? He scanned it with his mind. The black orb sensed it and immediately turned into a black stream of light, drilling into Jiang Fan's body along his consciousness. Jiang Fan was startled. He quickly looked within. He found that the stream of light had reached his dantian. It stayed obediently beside the golden core. In comparison, the black pill-like object was like a golden core just after breaking through to the first level of core formation. Except it was entirely black. Jiang Fan suddenly realized what it was. The second golden core. Could it be this is the secret of how Bai Luo's master advanced to the second stage nascent soul? After cultivating one golden core to top level, push another to the 9th layer perfection of core formation. Thus, if two golden cores at 9th layer perfection simultaneously break through, it might shatter the shackles and create a second stage nascent soul. Thinking of this, his heart pounded wildly. This was not a mere black little golden core. It was clearly a seed of hope. If Jiang Fan's golden core broke through to the 9th layer perfection and the life-changing jade disc was not yet assembled, he could continue refining the black core. The higher it was refined, the greater the benefits upon breakthrough. Of course, if it was completed quickly, Jiang Fan could also start breaking through to the nascent soul realm directly. There was no need to wait for the black core to be refined. Its existence was only beneficial to Jiang Fan, with no adverse effects whatsoever. Sister Bai even left her master's secret to me. Jiang Fan felt deeply grateful. The only pity was, the Qingxian sword and the furnace remained inside. Without the flame mark, no divinity transformation expert dared to venture into the relics casually. Thinking of this, he put away the blue seed. Then he took out a small black box. It was discovered beneath the plaza's paving stones. At that time, he exhausted his strength but could not open the lid. Now he used all his physical strength, twisting with all his might. Unexpectedly, with just a bit of force, the lid opened easily. Jiang Fan almost stumbled from the uncontrolled strength. It opened so easily. Jiang Fan was a bit dazed. In the relic, no matter what, the lid couldn't be opened. Could it be this black box was under some kind of suppression in the relic? He looked inside the black box. Then his pupils shrunk in discovery. The box contained a blue flame. It was the flame used to enter the divinity transformation relics. Doesn't this mean I can sneak back into the divinity transformation relics to take that furnace listed on the 100 spirit list? And my Qingxian sword. He never anticipated that the black box would contain such a thing. His heart leaped with excitement. I'll sneak in when the old tiger isn't home. Jiang Fan chuckled quietly, tossing the black box into the heavenly thunder stone. Next were the demon infant fruits. A total of 9, possibly thousands of years in age. Unfortunately, they could only be used by the demon race. Jiang Fan thought of the 4 Seas demon emperor but had no intention to give them yet. From Qingxian master's expression, he knew how precious these fruits were. Before having self-protection, it was better not to reveal such things lightly. Next came those mysterious small beans served as a side dish. After returning to the heavenly mechanism pavilion, he could find an opportunity to have the pavilion master appraise them. Finally, the sword box and the 10 drops of divinity transformation blood essence. But these weren't to be taken out for study in front of the North Sea demon emperor. In summary, the gains from this trip were greater than all previous adventures combined. The journey to divinity transformation relics was truly worth it. Half a day later, Beihai Palace. The North Sea Demon Emperor was preparing a banquet while Jiang Fan went straight to the treasure hall's entrance. From afar, he saw the slim Prince of Beihai. He stood silently in the courtyard with an umbrella, waiting for Jiang Fan to return. An umbrella in the sea? This scene was indeed a bit strange. Seeing Jiang Fan return, the Prince of Beihai smiled slightly and took the initiative to ask, "Did you gain anything?" Jiang Fan gratefully took out a Bodhi seed that emitted a faint Buddha light. I owe it to the map you drew this time. A small gesture, just accept it. The Prince of Beihai glanced at it and was slightly surprised. A Bodhi seed? You better not let the White Horse Temple see it. They've been searching for the Bodhi tree for countless years. Since you have a Bodhi seed, you must have seen a Bodhi tree. They will surely pursue you to inquire about the whereabouts of the Bodhi tree. Jiang Fan rolled his eyes at him. Then why don't you quickly put it away? The Prince of Beihai shook his head slightly. It's too precious, I don't want it. Jiang Fan quickly looked around. This Bodhi seed wouldn't be recognized by many on the continent. But that might not be the case among the Sea Demon clan. If someone saw it being passed around, wouldn't that be troublesome? He yanked open the Prince of Beihai's collar and tossed the Bodhi seed inside. You're such a nag. Ah, how could you do that? The Prince of Beihai quickly covered his collar. His eyes giving Jiang Fan a scolding glance, his rosy lips tightly pursed. A hint of resentment. Seeing her startled look, Jiang Fan felt a bit uncomfortable. Hey, is it necessary to make such a fuss? We're both men. You don't suppose you like men, do you? The Prince of Beihai, somewhat embarrassed and annoyed, clenched the umbrella in his hand, wanting to turn and leave. But ultimately, he couldn't bear to miss out on the stories of the underworld, said displeased, "Don't do that again in the future." Seeing his somewhat girlish demeanor, Jiang Fan got goosebumps. This Prince of Beihai perhaps really has some issues in certain areas. He stepped back a few paces, keeping his distance. Let's talk in the pavilion. They moved to a nearby pavilion. The two drank spiritual tea, slowly chatting. You said that female ghost is skilled at illusions and might capture the hearts of people. And she also possesses the mysterious Yin Marrow talisman. Then, she truly isn't an ordinary gloomy entity. In my view, she seems like a remnant soul of some powerful figure. Jiang Fan's heart stirred slightly. The speaker had no intention. He couldn't help but think of the Six-Path Masters. The other was also a remnant soul. This Hua Xin, could it be a similar existence? Next time, using the soul-suppressing Buddha beads would reveal the truth. If she is a soul, she will be especially fearful of the soul-suppressing Buddha beads. As for the spiritual tablets in the mountain, it's indeed very odd. Since they are spiritual tablets, why hide them from people? Are they afraid of someone knowing about these spiritual tablets? Who are they evading? And why do ancient texts about the so-called spiritual tablet cave circulate outside? Even with the key, did someone who guarded the spiritual tablets escape with a key? Then where is he now? A series of questions bewildered Jiang Fan. Many details he overlooked were brought up by the Prince of Beihai, making him aware of subtle abnormalities. The spiritual tablets in the mountain indeed exuded a sense of mystery. The person who took the key, where are they now? And are there any descendants still alive? Is he part of the human clan, or does he belong to the same race as those with horns on their heads? The two guessed and speculated on these matters. Not far away, the demon emperor and empress came together. Are you really not inviting Qingxian for the banquet to entertain Jiang? I hope she could attend as a sign of respect. The empress shook her head and sighed. Forget it. She certainly doesn't want to come, and if we force her, she'd just sit there like a mute. Wouldn't that ruin young Master Jiang's interest? The demon emperor thought for a moment and agreed. Even as her father, his daughter is too lazy to say a word to him. The last time they had a conversation was half a year ago. If he really invited her, and Jiang Fan asked something while she responded like a mute, wouldn't Jiang Fan be put in a difficult position? He sighed and said, "Across the 4 seas and the continent, I fear there's no one who can converse with her for a few words. We should just..." Suddenly, he noticed the Empress stop in her tracks, looking ahead at the pavilion as if she'd seen a ghost. He looked over carefully. His old face froze directly. The daughter who never liked speaking was talking non-stop with Jiang Fan, occasionally animated with excitement, full of joy and laughter. Fan gained much and felt unsatisfied, wanting more. However, the demon emperor sent someone to urge him to participate in the banquet, so he had to say goodbye. "Let's chat again next time." Qingxian slightly shook her head, sighed lightly, and said, "It might be difficult to have another chance. I plan to leave the vast sea and travel to other places." She disguised herself as a man, all prepared for traveling, to avoid unnecessary trouble caused by her outstanding appearance and figure. Who would have thought? Before even leaving the Beihai Palace, she was taken advantage of by Jiang Fan. She began to doubt whether her meticulous arrangements actually worked. Want to travel outside? Jiang Fan was inevitably regretful and said, "Where do you plan to go?" Qingxian's goal was very clear, and she said, "First to the continent." I want to see who exactly is Jiang Fan who spoke about the great unity world. Pausing for a moment. Her beautiful eyes looked toward Jiang Fan and said, however, having met you, I feel I might not need to see that person. Your insight and thoughts should not be inferior to his. Jiang Fan grinned and said, indeed, there's no need, because you have already met. Qingxian blinked, met, then thinking, Jiang Fan has the surname Jiang, she covered her red lips in surprise and said, you are Jiang Fan. Indeed, it is I, Jiang Fan said with a smile. Qingxian found it funny and infuriating, ran over lightly, punched him, stomping her foot and said, you bad guy, intentionally teasing me. Remembering when she was in the treasure vault, asking Jiang Fan himself if he knew Jiang Fan. Thinking of this, her cheeks slightly reddened. Jiang Fan was startled. He felt a bit overwhelmed by this buddy's gentle demeanor, more womanly than a woman. Luckily, Qingxian didn't take further action. Carefully examining Jiang Fan and revealing a satisfied smile, I have really longed to visit you. You indeed have the depth I've imagined. My wish has been fulfilled, so I'm not going to the continent. I'll take a look at Taikang State instead. Saying so, she took out the fragmented bamboo slip and said, consider it a gift. I hope we can meet again in the future. Jiang Fan gratefully accepted and said, thank you, brother. By the way, I still don't know which prince you are. How should I address you, prince? Qingxian lightly laughed, covering her mouth. She did not explain. You can call me by the Beihai royal family surname. Jiang Fan realized and said, all right, brother Jai. Both of them immediately felt something wrong. Why does it sound strange? Qingxian pursed her lips, lightly stomped, and said, brother Jiang, let me give you some advice. In the future, even with men, pay attention to your behavior. Don't randomly touch or grab. Goodbye, looking at her slightly angry figure leaving. Jiang Fan was perplexed. I haven't said anything bad. And you are lecturing me? Utterly baffling, scratching his head. He followed the little palace maid to the banquet. At the banquet, everyone was very happy. The demon emperor and empress were particularly delighted. They pursued Jiang Fan with numerous questions using the occasion of drinking. For example, the empress asked him where he lived, how many abodes he had, and how many siblings. Jiang Fan was accustomed to this. The Sea Demon clan people seemed particularly interested in inquiring about family matters. However, it was the questions raised by the demon emperor. That left Jiang Fan puzzling until the next day when he departed from the vast sea. What does it mean to elevate brotherly relations? Jiang Fan murmured as he stepped on his flying sword, shaking his head. He stopped thinking about it, heading swiftly toward the continent. Haven't returned to the continent for a long time, wonder how things are there. Hey Zia and Sea Charm, have they reached the Demon Emperor realm? Is the issue with the connecting sky-black pillar resolved by the strong in Taikang State? How are the people in the heavenly mechanism pavilion progressing in their cultivation? Thinking while traveling. By the time his thoughts were clear, he could already see the coastline of the continent from afar. His mind naturally relaxed, but suddenly, he felt a vague premonition fill his heart. A strong sense of unease loomed in his mind. He discreetly held a protective night pearl. Simultaneously, he quietly surveyed his surroundings. Yet despite looking at the sky or the sea, nothing seemed unusual. A misconception. Jiang Fan thought about it but didn't relax his vigilance. Secretly took out the heavy pupil crystal hanging around his neck, pressed it against his eye to scan the surroundings again. And then, his pupils contracted upon discovering. Far behind him, a figure was secretly trailing him while interacting airily. The person was under invisibility, hence difficult to see with the naked eye. Had it not been for the exposed murderous intent, Jiang Fan would possibly not have realized he was being tracked. Seeing clearly, Jiang Fan's expression slightly darkened. Evil pupil master, not surprised at all. The best for stealthy deeds is indeed Taikang Sanking. Luckily you have your innate heavy pupil, else I wouldn't have realized even if you snuck up close. Jiang Fan did not show any abnormal reaction, pretending to continue traveling casually, monitoring the opponent's actions secretly while confirming the spiritual weapon pocket crossbow on his wrist was ready. Pocket crossbows are hidden weapons, used for surprise attacks. In frontal battle, they are easy to anticipate and defend against in advance. Whether he can harm the opponent depends on if he becomes careless. Wish. The flying sword skims over the sea, flying at an unhurried pace toward the continent. Soon it stepped ashore. Meanwhile, the evil pupil master's shadow following from afar suddenly accelerated. Previously restricted by the Beihai region, he feared there might be a secret protection from the demon emperor, hence didn't act rashly. Upon finding Jiang Fan alone ashore, he finally acted without reservation. Jiang Fan's heart raced, sensing the approaching unease, still maintained a facade of calmness, silently calculating the opponent's distance, and just when he was close, suddenly turned around to catch him off guard. Bang! But at this moment, a massive cloud hand emitting intense yin qi swept through the surrounding area, followed by a strong burst of demon power. Turns out there was a nascent soul-level powerhouse involved in a confrontation. This demon power, Jiang Fan was especially familiar with. Sky Demon Emperor. This guy did something nefarious again, got found out. Jiang Fan glanced and swept his heavy pupils over the evil pupil master following behind. The opponent also sensed the nascent soul confrontation and halted over the sea. After some thought, Jiang Fan decisively wielded his sword, heading towards the battleground. Seeing him move, the evil pupil master gritted his teeth and hurriedly caught up. He had a strong feeling Jiang Fan gained something further in the divinity transformation relics. Even if not, the blue seed given by Bai Luo and the golden cloud spirit boat from Qingxian master were treasures. Soon, Jiang Fan crossed a mountain, saw the two confronting powerhouses. One indeed was the Sky Demon Emperor without a doubt. He seemed quite troubled. The other was a mysterious figure enshrouded in yin qi, surrounded by a swarm of ninth layer and perfection yin corpses. The number was easily over 100, under their siege, plus the mysterious person's occasional attacks. Sky Demon Emperor was pressured beyond his capability. I already said, your disciple Wang Qingxiao's items are not with me? That mountain river tripod, I've never even heard of it. Fan's face showed a strange expression. Sorry, Demon Emperor, the mountain river tripod was actually taken by me. At this moment, he noticed not far behind the Sky Demon Emperor stood a figure with a calm expression, neither happy nor sad. Dressed in white, as pure as snow, with 2 long green ribbons tied in her 3,000 black strands. Her beauty was captivating, yet very cool, like a fairy untouched by mortal affairs. The nascent soul energy waves stirred her skirt to fly, yet she remained indifferent and detached, as if she were above the situation. Jiang Fan's pupils contracted sharply and his breath stalled. Concubine Yunia? It's been a long time since we've met, and she seemed even slimmer, yet still so serene. Suddenly seeing Concubine Yunia, Jiang Fan's heart couldn't help but pound. An unstoppable excitement rose. Stop making excuses. The expert hiding within the yin qi issued a heavy cold huff. At the end, you chased my pupil until he disappeared. If you didn't take the mountain river tripod, then who did? With these words, the identity of this mysterious expert was revealed. Wang Qingxiao's master, Thousand Corpses' master, the Sky Demon Emperor's face turned dark. I say this for the last time. I didn't. Your pupil was as cunning as that Jiang Fan. I never caught up with him. Back then, when Wang Qingxiao ran with the Earth Qi Dragon Ball, he was indeed pursued. But that sly fellow threw away the Earth Qi Dragon Ball and hid himself in the sea. He simply couldn't find him. Thousand Corpses' master questioned. Then why is he nowhere to be found, neither alive nor dead? Also, why did you destroy the Feng Shui Ball, preventing the Tiger Demon Emperor mansion from ever reappearing? Did you secretly place my pupil inside to cover up his tracks? The Sky Demon Emperor became furious. Who was the bastard that stole the mountain river tripod? Thousand Corpses' master couldn't find anyone, so he's just pinning the blame on him. Moreover, the reason is far-fetched. It doesn't hold up at all. Like finding fault without reason. What exactly do you want? Just say it. The Sky Demon Emperor shouted. Thousand Corpses' master's eyes flickered and said, I heard you have a concubine named Yunia. If you give her to me, I won't pursue the matter of the mountain river tripod. Many experts from the Taikang state came this time to investigate the connecting sky-black pillar. The Sky Demon Emperor also brought Concubine Yunia along. Her stunning beauty and fox demon identity attracted the attention of a big figure. The other party, maintaining his dignity, didn't want to sully his feathers. So he secretly instructed Thousand Corpses' master to negotiate with the Demon Emperor, wanting to buy Yunia. The offered reward was a 5th-grade spirit pill capable of advancing a nascent soul by 1 tier. Thousand Corpses' master was tempted immensely. He wanted to use force to subdue the Sky Demon Emperor and forcibly take Concubine Yunia away, while he secretly consumed the 5th-grade spirit pill. However, the Sky Demon Emperor proved exceptionally strong, almost breaking through to the 2nd Aperture Demon Emperor realm. He wasn't easy to handle. I'd figure you'd make a move on my woman. No way. The Sky Demon Emperor shouted angrily. Concubine Yunia was his inverse scale. No one was allowed to touch her. 1,000 Corpses Master's face darkened. You choose not to drink the toast, but drink the penalty toast. The two resumed their fierce battle. Jiang Fan's gaze turned slightly cold. They had designs on Concubine Yunia. With a thought, he activated the power of the 1,000 Illusion Crown, disguising himself as the evil pupil master, and then mercilessly attacked, shooting a powerful crossbow arrow at 1,000 Corpses Master, who was locked in intense combat. Bang! How could 1,000 Corpses Master have expected someone to shoot from the shadows? He hurriedly mobilized numerous yin corpses attempting to block this strike. The Sky Demon Emperor was slightly startled but quickly seized the opportunity, launching his innate divine ability. With the two-pronged attack, 1,000 Corpses Master eventually took a hit and was blasted away. Among the hundreds of yin corpses, dozens were damaged. "Who is it?" 1,000 Corpses Master shouted angrily. Standing atop the mountain peak, Jiang Fan looked down and said, "I am the evil pupil master. I can't stand your shameless actions. Prepare to die." Then he summoned the Beihai divine artifact 9 Dragon Bronze Chariot, and after infusing it with the water source essence of a sea conch, the chariot instantly grew several feet large. Jiang Fan leaped inside and shouted deeply, "Dragon Soul!" Roar! A massive transparent dragon silhouette, thousands of feet long, exuding a formidable aura, appeared suddenly above the bronze chariot. As the 9 Dragon Bronze Chariot soared and swooped down, the dragon silhouette fiercely charged at 1,000 Corpses Master. Seeing this, the Sky Demon Emperor was overjoyed and bowed. "Thank you, evil pupil Taoist." He coordinated with the dragon silhouette to launch a full-force attack on 1,000 Corpses Master. 1,000 Corpses Master was not yet capable of 1 versus 2. Before long, he was injured by the dragon silhouette and began to bleed profusely. Sky Demon Emperor was greatly pleased. He was about to take advantage to kill this man. But Jiang Fan withdrew the dragon silhouette and said, "Considering we're all sects from Taikang State, I'll give you a lesson." If he really killed 1,000 Corpses Master, his belongings wouldn't fall into Jiang Fan's hands. Everything would be cheap for the Sky Demon Emperor, and he would waste precious water source essence for nothing. He has more important matters to attend to now. "Sky Demon Emperor, I've helped you to this point, now it's up to you. I'll help you get Concubine Yunia out of the battlefield." Sky Demon Emperor was greatly disappointed, but he could understand. They were all from Taikang State, seeing each other frequently. Being able to act in righteousness was already commendable. The only thing that unsettled him was that the other wanted to take Concubine Yunia away. But thinking about it, 1,000 Corpses Master's target was only Concubine Yunia. She was in danger here. Having someone kindly take her away wasn't a bad thing. At most, he'll fight quickly and find them later. "Then thank you, evil pupil Taoist." Jiang Fan no longer hesitated, piloting the bronze chariot and approached Concubine Yunia, extending his hand from the carriage. "Concubine Yunia, please." Concubine Yunia glanced at him mildly, then gently shook her head. She had no intention to board the chariot, still standing quietly in place, cold and aloof like a fairy from the heavens, until a voice appeared in her mind like the echo of her dreams. "So cold, even ignoring your husband." Concubine Yunia felt an electric current surge through her, startling her, making her beautiful eyes widen. She looked at the extended hand in disbelief, testingly responded in her mind, Jiang Fan." In her mind, she received a faint smile in reply. "Still not getting on." Concubine Yunia was overjoyed, happy to have unexpectedly met Jiang Fan here, surprised at Jiang Fan's boldness to openly take her away in front of the Demon Emperor. No more hesitation. She grabbed Jiang Fan's hand and was pulled into the 9 Dragon Bronze Chariot. As the Azure Dragon paved the way, a grand bronze chariot soared away. The Demon Emperor watched the bronze chariot speed away with lingering attention, his eyes sharply focused on the injured 1,000 Corpses Master. The latter was anxious, wanting to pursue the bronze chariot. "You still want to leave?" the Demon Emperor sneered, blocking his path. "Rest assured I won't let you hinder them." Corpses Master was extremely angry. If he couldn't bring back Concubine Yunia, that 5th-grade spirit pill would become an illusion in the water. "Get out of my way!" Immediately, he began a fierce battle with the Sky Demon Emperor. The evil pupil master who had quietly followed up was equally furious. He cursed angrily, "You bastard! Stealing the Demon Emperor's woman using my identity? I won't let you get away with this." He had witnessed everything Jiang Fan did. Anger welled up inside him. pretending to be him to attack the Thousand Corpses Master once they returned to the Taikang state. The Thousand Corpses Master would surely come after him for revenge. What angered him even more was that Jiang Fan also used his identity to deceive and take Concubine Yunia. If he did anything to Concubine Yunia, wouldn't the blame fall on his own head? In an instant, Jiang Fan had provoked two formidable enemies against him. "I will destroy you," the evil pupil master chased after him in a rage. On the horizon, inside the spacious bronze chariot, thick animal fur was laid out, decorated with the most luxurious adornments from the North Sea. Inside the carriage, a pleasant fragrance filled the air, but it couldn't surpass the enticing aroma emanating from Concubine Yunia. "Jiang Fan!" Once she was sure they had gone far, Concubine Yunia hurriedly turned around. Looking at the evil pupil master behind her, her eyes showed a trace of uncertainty, besides his appearance, which made her uncertain. Jiang Fan's earlier moves also left her incredulous. He could actually launch attacks capable of challenging a nascent soul. First, there was the powerful crossbow arrow, then the mysterious and noble 9-dragon bronze chariot before her. 9 dragons paving the way, signifying the Emperor's journey. This was definitely a transport divine artifact of a significant figure. Why was Jiang Fan in control of it? But as Jiang Fan stopped the operation of the 1000 illusion crown, a familiar face, a familiar figure, clearly emerged in Concubine Yunia's sight. Her crystal eyes trembled, unable to bear it anymore. With a delicate, soft figure, she plunged into Jiang Fan's embrace, exclaiming tenderly, "Jiang Lang, it's really you." She tightly wrapped her arms around Jiang Fan's waist, burying her head in his embrace, gently rubbing against him. "I must not be dreaming, right? To meet Jiang Lang here." Jiang Fan gently embraced her slender, soft waist, kissed her forehead, and softly said, "I didn't expect to encounter you just after returning from the vast sea." Concubine Yunia raised her head. The instant their gazes met, the sparks of longing ignited into flames burning within them. They kissed each other passionately, unable to separate for a long time. After a good while, Jiang Fan restrained the heat in his eyes and took the initiative to part from her. Concubine Yunia was slightly stunned, her eyes filled with bewilderment mixed with a hint of fear. Did you grow tired of me?" Just as things were about to progress further, Jiang Fan retreated. Jiang Fan shook his head, cupped her beautiful cheeks, and said, "No, I just don't want you to feel guilty." Unlike the last time, they were now in a sober state. Back then, both of them were under the influence of aphrodisiacs. Now, they were both clear-headed. A person as conservative as Concubine Yunia would not allow herself to be entangled with another man while still married. Even if she yielded to Jiang Fan, she would be forcing her own emotions. So Jiang Fan was thinking about me after all. Concubine Yunia's eyes moistened slightly. She hadn't entrusted her feelings to the wrong person. She leaned back into Jiang Fan's embrace, filled with gratitude. "Jiang Lang treats me so well, always thinking of me." She indeed felt a deep sense of guilt inside. Consciously, behind the back of the Demon Emperor, she had engaged with another man. This was against her principles. However, if Jiang Fan desired it, she would still yield to him. As long as he was happy, her own feelings didn't matter. Unexpectedly, Jiang Fan was considerate and cared for her feelings. This showed that Jiang Fan truly had her in his heart. "Stop saying silly things. You are my woman. If I don't consider your feelings, who will? Once you break through the Demon Emperor realm and officially sever ties with the Sky Demon Emperor, be at ease to stay by my side. For now, I won't force you." Jiang Fan gently caressed her flawless face. Concubine Yunia was even more moved. There was also a sense of guilt. Knowing that Jiang Fan desired her, she couldn't give herself to him. Thinking about how good Jiang Fan was to her, her heart ached. And given the impending tribulation, which could mean life or death, this might be their last meeting in this life. With a bite of her red lip, she made up her mind. She grabbed Jiang Fan's hand and gently placed it on her chest, her eyes filled with tender love. "If being a bad woman makes me a bad woman, so be it. As long as Jiang Lang is happy, everything else doesn't matter." She held Jiang Fan's hand and guided it downward. Not long after, inside the Cloudborn 9-dragon bronze chariot, a rhythmic bumping began. A few birds curiously flew alongside them, chirping continuously. The clouds and wind, emotions and love. In that moment they mingled harmoniously. 1 2-hour period later, Concubine Yunia's fragrant, sweat-drenched body lay in Jiang Fan's arms. Seeing Jiang Fan's satisfied expression, she was pleased too. Like a kitten, she kissed Jiang Fan's chest and said, "Jiang Lang, why are you here?" Jiang Fan softly stroked her smooth back, saying, "It's a long story." He recounted his experiences after returning to the human clan one by one. Including affairs involving the Yizhu Demon Emperor and Old Dream Demon Emperor, he hid nothing. Concubine Yunia listened, sometimes tense, sometimes laughing, and sometimes feeling a tinge of sadness. In the days I was away, Jiang Lang experienced so many dangers, huh? And met so many different people, right? Jiang Fan asked, "Aren't you jealous about the Old Dream Demon Emperor?" Concubine Yunia lightly bit Jiang Fan's shoulder, but lest she hurt him, she turned it into soft kisses. Her face showed a trace of sympathy. "I understand her. She's burdened with too much heavy chains that prevent her from following her heart. Life is filled with regrets, leaving only a trace of unfulfilled wishes. In comparison, I'm much luckier. What room is there for jealousy?" Thinking this, she hugged Jiang Fan tightly, afraid he would disappear before her eyes. Jiang Fan was gratified at Concubine Yunia's thoughtfulness. "Speaking of which, why are you here? Didn't the sea charm say you were in seclusion all along?" Concubine Yunia's brows showed a hint of faint worry. The Beihai Crown Prince's impending breakthrough to the Demon Emperor realm spurred him, so he insists on taking me everywhere. He fears I might also reach the Demon Emperor realm and completely escape his grasp. Jiang Fan frowned deeply. Thus, Concubine Yunia had no opportunity to break through to the Demon Emperor realm. He wanted to take Yunia back to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, but if she left, the fate of the Silver Fox tribe would be dire. "Jiang Lang, don't worry. I've discussed it with the Sea Charm. We plan to break through together. The Demon Emperor can only guard one of us, either staying with me or allowing Sea Charm to reach the Demon Emperor realm. Or go stop Sea Charm, and I can seize the opportunity to reach the Demon Emperor realm. As long as one of us succeeds, we can help save Ling Shu so she won't have to marry the Sky Demon Emperor." Jiang Fan frowned deeply. This really was tricky. The Sky Demon Emperor would absolutely not allow anyone to challenge his Demon Emperor status. He would try every means to prevent and disrupt. After a bit of contemplation, his eyes turned determined as he resolved, "I will not let him become an obstacle." Yunia became tense and said softly, "Jiang, don't put yourself in danger. It's not worth it for me." Jiang Fan gently pinched her arm. "Don't say such things. If my first woman isn't worth taking risks for, then who is worth it? Besides, there might not be any danger. I plan to invite the Four Seas Demon Emperor to protect you." Concubine Yunia's eyes brightened with surprise. Then she dimmed again and shook her head. "It's too late. Ling Shu's sister is going to marry the Demon Emperor in 5 days. We have to start breaking through at the latest by that day. So hurried, how can you have time to notify the Four Seas Demon Emperor? 5 days. Jiang Fan's heart suddenly skipped a beat. 5 days is not enough time for him to go and come back from the southeast, west, and 3 seas. At most, he could only turn back to Beihai to ask the North Sea Demon Emperor to make a move. But he simply couldn't leave. The male tiger and the divinity transformation relics could come out any time. Without the North Sea Demon Emperor stationed, Beihai is extremely dangerous. The Four Seas Demon Emperor can't be relied upon. The only one he could request is the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master. But Jiang Fan isn't sure he can persuade him. Never mind. If no one comes by then, I'll personally hold off the Sky Demon Emperor. Just hope you can safely pass the heavenly tribulation. He had seen the Beihai Crown Prince endure the tribulation. The terrifying heavenly might made Jiang Fan unsure if the two women could successfully pass the tribulation. Even surviving is uncertain. Concubine Yunia said, "Jiang, don't force yourself." Her words hadn't finished. Jiang Fan suddenly turned and shouted without thinking, "Dragon Soul!" He sensed the killing intent. The evil pupil master has caught up. Roar! The 1,000-feet dragon soul suddenly appeared, just barely manifesting. A terrifying light spot slashed down, but it was blocked by the 1,000-feet dragon soul. The dragon soul flew into the skies, engaging in battle with the invisible figure. "Jiang, is someone chasing you?" Concubine Yunia asked in shock. Jiang Fan immediately dressed and said, "Stay in the carriage, don't come out." He put on the heavy pupil crystal and looked at the still invisible evil pupil master, his eyes narrowing with a cold glint. "A persistent ghost. Here's an arrow for you." He decisively raised his arm and shot at the invisible evil pupil master. Whoosh! The cold arrow, carrying a chilling light, shot through space with precision. The battling evil pupil master was startled and exclaimed, "You can see my invisibility. Those are my eyes." "Ah!" The cold arrow pierced through his body, carrying with it blooming blood flowers. The dragon soul took the opportunity to blast him again, spraying out a large blood mist. The evil pupil master thought he had followed all the way unnoticed. Unexpectedly, Jiang Fan had already seen through him. "Little brat," the evil pupil master was both angry and embarrassed. But the next moment he became obedient. Jiang Fan raised the spiritual weapon pocket crossbow to aim at him again. The dragon soul also roared and attacked, making the evil pupil master roar unwillingly. "Bastard! I won't let you off!" Then he used that strange blood escape technique again, instantly slipping away. Even the West Sea Demon Emperor couldn't catch this at the time. The 9-dragon bronze chariot was barely enough. What a pity! How great would it be to capture the evil pupil master and seize his nascent soul? Life-changing jade disc only lacks one nascent soul. The evil pupil master has already been heavily injured by the pocket crossbow, no better than the green crane masters back then. Unfortunately, this person's blood escape technique is strange, unable to be left behind. However, this injury will prevent the evil pupil master from causing trouble again anytime soon. If he comes looking for Jiang Fan again, if Jiang Fan is lucky, he might already be in the nascent soul realm. Returning to the carriage, Concubine Yunia was already dressed neatly, restored to her usual aloofness, as if above earthly matters, completely opposite from her previously proactive warmth. "Chased away," Jiang Fan reassured her before she could speak. Then he embraced her, greedily enjoying their time together. Who knows how long passed, just as they were about to reach the demon palace. The Sky Demon Emperor finally came panting after them. Seeing the evil pupil master escorting Concubine Yunia all the way back to the demon palace, his doubts were dispelled. He was still worried that the evil pupil master, like the 1,000 corpses master, might have ideas about Concubine Yunia. "Fellow Taoist evil pupil," the Sky Demon Emperor stopped the 9-dragon bronze chariot. Inside the carriage, Concubine Yunia sat on Jiang Fan's lap, reluctant to part, giving him a final kiss. Then she slipped out of the carriage. Seeing the Sky Demon Emperor, her joy at reuniting with Jiang Fan instantly vanished. Expressionless, she walked towards the demon palace. The Sky Demon Emperor, seeing that Concubine Yunia was all right, was completely relieved. He cupped his hands and smiled. "Many thanks to fellow Taoist evil pupil for taking care of my concubine along the way. If you don't mind, come inside the palace for a chat." "I definitely will." Jiang Fan activated the 1,000 illusion crown, mimicking the voice of the evil pupil master. "No need to be polite. It was just a convenient act. I still need to go to the place of the connecting sky black pillar, so I won't disturb you." The Sky Demon Emperor didn't suspect anything. The Outer Realm nascent soul experts who came to this continent were invariably investigating the situation of the connecting sky black pillar. He immediately cupped his hands and allowed them to pass. Watching the 9-dragon bronze chariot fade into the distance, he murmured quietly, "This evil pupil unexpectedly a good person." Beihai Coast. The evil pupil master, pale-faced, fled all the way to the seaside, just about to use a spirit boat to leave and return to Sparring Mountain. A trace of yin qi silently appeared nearby. The evil pupil master seemed to sense it. Turning his head, he saw a heavily injured 1,000 corpses master, full of murderous intent. "Evil pupil master, how dare you plot against me? Do you think you can return to Sparring Mountain?" The evil pupil master drew a cold breath and urgently said, "Listen to my explanation. It wasn't me, it was a little person named Jiang Fan." The 1,000 corpses master didn't waste any words, immediately summoning countless yin corpses. In truth, whether what he said was true or not was irrelevant. Encountering such a severely injured nascent soul realm was a rare opportunity. Who would pass up such a windfall? Connecting sky black pillar. The heavenly mechanism pavilion master, wearing a smile, patiently answered a group of Outer Realm divine sect experts before him. Each one had an unfathomable cultivation, all prominent figures in Taikang state, especially the one currently speaking to him, who was a formidable 5 apertures nascent soul expert from the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple. He was Bai Yu from the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple. The heavenly mechanism pavilion master was able to cultivate the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Temple's cultivation technique, all thanks to Bai Yu's permission. The connecting sky black pillar appearing on your continent is fortunate. If it appeared in my Taikang state, it would be quite a trouble. Upon hearing this, the heavenly mechanism pavilion master could only smile apologetically. But inside, his heart was ice cold. In the eyes of the Outer Realm divine sect, their continent was destined to be a landing point for ancient giants. The devastation they might face didn't matter at all, as long as it didn't affect Taikang's state. All right, don't be discouraged. When the time comes, just select a few disciples you like to take refuge in our 10,000 tribulations holy temple. The rest of the people on the continent you can't manage, and neither can I. They can only blame their bad luck. Bai Yu casually patted his shoulder, then moved to the side of the connecting sky-black pillar. He respectfully cupped his hands towards a young girl carrying 2 7-star treasure swords and wearing a uniquely styled outfit. Bai Qianhu, if you finish your investigation and don't mind, take our 10,000 tribulations holy temple's ship back to Taikang. There weren't many people Bai Yu would try to please. The young girl before him was one of them, because she came from an official organization created by many great sages 1,000 years ago, the Kinchin Bureau. Bai Xin looked at the connecting sky-black pillar, pondering slightly, saying, "You all go ahead first. I need to wait for someone named Jiang Fan to return." Yu's brows slightly raised. He turned to look at the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master and said, "Has he not returned yet?" The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master looked at the Pavilion Master token hanging from his waist and said, "No. If he returns, the pavilion will send me a notification." He looked with a slight sense of reverence at the mysterious householder named Bai Xin. With doubt in his heart, this mysterious householder from the Kinchin Bureau. Why is she looking for Jiang Fan? Bai Yu was also very curious if there was something special about Jiang Fan. Making Bai Xin, burdened with a multitude of tasks, wait purposefully. However, he was busy and couldn't afford to wait for a disciple. Then Bai Qianhu will be heading back to the 10,000 tribulations holy temple. Farewell. The other nascent soul experts bid farewell and left one after another. When everyone had left, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master, somewhat apprehensive, said, "Bai Qianhu, may I ask why you are looking for our disciple Jiang Fan?" Bai Xin turned around, revealing a face with very beautiful features. Although she wasn't an unparalleled beauty, she was very pleasant to look at with no flaws. The most striking thing were her eyes. Her almond-shaped eyes with double eyelids seemed to have a watery quality, exceptionally clear and bright, giving off a feeling of piercing through one's heart. Facing these eyes, the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart, as if his thoughts were being seen through. Bai Xin's voice was very calm, giving an impression of handling affairs with no emotional fluctuation. "I am responsible for eliminating evil and slaying demons in the Kinchin Bureau. Being found by me is naturally not a good thing." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's heart sank. The Kinchin Bureau has many departments. Collecting ancient gods is their main task, but they also maintain order in the Taikang state. For major evildoers, they will take action. Why is Jiang Fan being targeted by Bai Xin? Bai Qianhu, is there possibly some misunderstanding? Jiang Fan is very upright, Bai Xin said. Whether he is righteous or evil, seeing him in person will tell. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master felt uneasy. All he could do was silently pray for Jiang Fan to remain hidden outside, and return only after Bai Qianhu leaves the continent. "Oh, Pavilion Master, are you also here?" A sound of a sword rang from the sky. Jiang Fan rode the purple sword through the sky, feeling a sense of intimacy as he saw the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master, who he hadn't seen for a long time. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master looked at Jiang Fan, who landed in front of him. His eyes were wide open, wasn't it? "You've been gone for nearly a month. Why didn't you just stay away a few more days? Why would you immediately show up in front of Bai Xin upon appearing, playing it this big?" Bai Xin heard the words and looked at Jiang Fan coming on the sword. Then, looking at the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's strange expression, her crystal-clear eyes flashed a wisp of clear light. "Jiang Fan, I am Bai Xin from the Kinchin Bureau. I have a few questions for you." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master was secretly startled. What astonishing insight. With just a bit of spider silk, she directly identified Jiang Fan's identity. How does she know my name?" Jiang Fan was slightly puzzled and frowned. "Do I really need to answer you?" The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master said firmly. "Jiang Fan, the Kinchin Bureau is an organization bestowed by the Great Sage. Even the Outer Realm Divine Sect cannot oppose." That simple sentence explained the Kinchin Bureau's transcendent status. Jiang Fan lightly furrowed his brow. "All right, then you may ask." Bai Xin said succinctly, "Do you know the Six-Path Masters?" Was she asking him? Jiang Fan thought for a moment and nodded yes. "What is the relationship?" Without hesitation, Jiang Fan said, "He once tried to possess me but was subdued by me." Later, he unexpectedly escaped and ran away, needless to guess. The Six-Path Masters exposed some traces after returning to Taikang State. The scoundrel, could he have killed innocents again? He had indeed promised him he would never commit evil acts. Bai Xin stared at Jiang Fan's eyes as if she could see through the truth in one's words. She slightly nodded and said, "You didn't lie. No wonder where he committed crimes he left your name." Huh, Jiang Fan was completely surprised. "Writing my name?" Bai Xin said. "Recently, in the past 2 months, the Six-Path Masters have appeared in several important places of Taikang State. Everywhere they go, they leave the words, 'Jiang Fan was here for a visit.'" What the hell? Jiang Fan was truly furious. That damn thing, he commits crimes and then writes, "Jiang Fan was here for a visit." Visit your uncle, should have strangled him back then. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master looked at Jiang Fan's somewhat fierce expression, feeling strangely intrigued. It was the first time he's seen Jiang Fan break down. Bai Qianhu, if the Six-Path Masters were colluding with Jiang Fan, why would they write the other party's name? It seems there must be a deep enmity, which is why they're framing him, right? Bai Xin said. "I think so too." And as expected, the Six-Path Masters bear a deep grudge. Jiang Fan thwarted his possession attempt and even subdued him. Of course, he holds a grudge. But, is the grudge a bit too much? Jiang Fan, did you do anything else to him? Jiang Fan clenched his teeth in anger and pulled out the ancient heart mirror. "I also snatched away his spiritual artifact." Hiss. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master widened his eyes. "Spiritual artifact? No wonder he hates you so much." Bai Xin nodded, completely removing his doubt about Jiang Fan. "That's reasonable. It seems you and the Six-Path Masters are mortal enemies. If nothing unexpected happens, he'll seek revenge on you in the future." After pondering for a while, Bai Xin took out a token with the 3 righteous characters Kinchin Bureau engraved on one side. The other side bore the name Bai Xin. "This is my assistant token. I hire you as my assistant to help investigate the Six-Path Masters case. Of course, you don't have to do anything. When the Six-Path Masters find you, just use this token to send me a message." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master instantly got excited and said, "Quickly, accept it." This is equivalent to having the identity of a temporary sky watcher from Kinchin Bureau. When walking in Taikang State, showing this identity, Outer Realm Divine Sects must treat it cautiously. Jiang Fan replied casually and then accepted the token. Bai Xin observed Jiang Fan again. Now the strength of the Six-Path Masters is rapidly recovering. If you face him, your 9th layer of core formation is no match. Do you have any protective Dharma treasures or techniques to defeat the enemy? Is she going to give treasures as well? Jiang Fan quickly shook his head. "No, our Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion is very poor. I just joined, I have nothing for protection or to defeat enemies." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's forehead twitched. "Retract your first sentence, please." Bai Xin's crystal-like clear eyes fixed on Jiang Fan and said, "Of your 2 statements, only the first is true." This woman, can she determine the truth in someone's words? Jiang Fan felt a chill in his heart, quickly changed his statement. "All right, I have a little bit of protective Dharma treasure. Very few techniques to defeat enemies." Bai Xin said, "This time you're telling the truth." She drew a 7-star treasure sword from her back. Spit out a mouthful of pure qi onto it. The 7 embedded gems on it were sequentially lit up. "This sword is lent to you. It can assist you in defeating enemies 7 times. Use it wisely." Jiang Fan received the Cyan 7-star treasure sword looking bewildered, feeling like walking on the road and being handed a gold ingot by someone. "Farewell." Bai Xin cupped her fist and then departed into the air, without any hesitation. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master watched her leave before patting Jiang Fan's shoulder. "You truly turned misfortune into fortune, unexpectedly able to connect with Bai Qianhu. Many people want to befriend her but have no way at all." Jiang Fan was surprised. "Is this Bai Xin very extraordinary?" The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master looked profound. "She's not just any householder. In short, being able to forge ties with her is your good fortune. The only concern is, you actually offended such a ferocious demonic giant as the Six-Path Masters. That's troublesome." Jiang Fan didn't speak, holding the weighty 7-star treasure sword, feeling a warm flow inside, silently murmured, "Thanks, old fellow. Even when being chased around in Taikang State like a chicken, you didn't forget to arrange some benefits for me. Take care, you." The Six-Path Masters can easily harm him, because he is one of the very few who know that Jiang Fan is cultivating the Void Flow Thunder Force. If he truly wanted to harm Jiang Fan, he only needed to spread this news. Naturally, there would be plenty of strong figures from Taikang State, drawn by the reward of a sky-ascending pill which can help break through to the nascent soul realm, who would seek to take his life. Writing, Jiang Fan was here. At the crime scene was merely a deliberate act to draw the attention of the Kinchin Bureau to Jiang Fan, to bring him some convenience. This was the true intention of the Six-Path Masters, a fact that indeed unfolded according to his scheme. A householder named Bai Xin approached him, granting him temporary Sky Watcher status, and even gifted a powerful 7-star treasure sword. If he had gotten this sword earlier, the evil pupil master would not have gotten away today. "I hope when I reach the Taikang continent, you old man are still alive," Jiang Fan thought to himself. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion master noticed Jiang Fan was silent. Thinking he was worried, he said, "Don't worry, the Kinchin Bureau masters are numerous. Catching the Six-Path Masters is just a matter of time. Let's go back to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion first." He summoned a cloud to carry Jiang Fan to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. With someone leading the way, he took the opportunity to pull out a bamboo slip given by the Prince of Beihai before leaving. The bamboo slip was very damaged, leaving only a piece smaller than a palm. On it were about 100 Hell language characters, with translations in demon race language beside them. Though the number wasn't much, Jiang Fan studied them like priceless treasures. It took just 1 2-hour period. 100 Hell language characters were engraved in his mind. It's a pity they're all the simplest ones in Hell language, not enough to decipher the inscriptions on the bronzes. Jiang Fan secretly sighed, feeling somewhat troubled. "I've traveled around the continent, the 4 seas. Where on earth can I learn this Hell language?" Underworld, 9th layer, a new secret space. Hua Xin pointed to a Hell language character on a small blackboard. "What does this character mean?" The little Qilin had a book of demon race language text in front of it. Upon hearing this, the little Qilin flipped its 2 little paws over, then pressed on the character pet. Hua Xin smiled and petted its head. "You really are a clever spiritual pet. Recite the few inscriptions I just taught you." Little Qilin raised its little paw, earnestly finding them in the text one by one. "I am Hua Xin's spiritual pet." Hua Xin showed a sly smile of a little fox having stolen a fat hen, pamperingly ruffling its fluffy head. "So clever. Soon you'll learn our Hell Clan's language. Adapt to our Hell Clan's culture. By then, you'll be my spiritual pet." At this moment, the text fell to the ground and a piece of paper hidden inside dropped out. The little Qilin, seeing this, quickly pounced on it, covering it with its chubby behind. "What's that?" Hua Xin asked. The little Qilin shook its head, indicating nothing. Hua Xin put her hands on her waist, pouting her snowy cheeks. "If you don't let me see it, I'll get angry." The little Qilin reluctantly shifted its rear, using its little paw to press on a corner of the paper. Hua Xin looked over. On the paper were twisted patterns drawn in 3 places, north, west, and east. "Let me see what you've drawn. The one on top, is it a bone?" "Bone, blood bone ghost king," the little Qilin nodded. "The west is drawn with a tangled mess of hair. Thousand silk demon charm. The east is a spider web. Human-faced ghost spider," Hua Xin realized, exclaiming. "I understand. You're drawing the hidden spaces of the 9th layer for your master, to help him gain merit for opening up space. These 3 spots remain undeveloped hidden spaces, all told. Over 10,000 merit points. You little thing still thinking of that guy?" Hua Xin felt a sour twinge. Over the past month, she'd been so good to the little Qilin, trying to please it. Yet it still thought of that scoundrel Jiang Fan. So annoying. At this moment, she noticed the little Qilin's paw was tightly pressing the bottom part of the paper. Feeling suspicious, thinking again about the 9th layer's space. Apart from her and those 3 powerful ominous beings, she was considered one of the strongest kings in the 9th layer. Her eyes lit up. "The bottom one is me, right? Come, let me see what you've drawn me as." She tidied her hair, looking in the mirror at the appearance of Concubine Yunia glimpsed from Jiang Fan's mind. Full of anticipation. After a month of interaction, she figured she should be a gentle and beautiful confidant-sister figure in the little Qilin's mind. The little Qilin hesitated before letting its little paw go. Hua Xin looked over with a smile. A fierce female ghost with hair unfurled like a lion, mouth wide open, with long-nailed hands leapt off the page. Her smile froze. Then in a fit of rage, she yelled, "Ah, you ungrateful little brute! How could you draw me like this?" As she looked up, the little Qilin, seeing the bad turn, had already fled. "Don't you run away! You're driving me crazy!" Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. A white cloud came from afar. Jiang Fan unexpectedly discovered that the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion was abuzz with activity. The disciples were sparring in groups of 3s and 5s. Among them, even the figures of Su Yoren and Chen Silin could be seen. Everyone is truly diligent. He couldn't help but comment. The heavenly mechanism pavilion master chuckled. Isn't it thanks to you? Last time's 8,000 merit points truly motivated the disciples and the masters and vice pavilion masters. While you were away, they sparred every day. Lazy disciples would be whipped by the masters and vice pavilion masters, and they'd mention you. I really must thank all of you. Over the month he was away, how much resentment did he passive-aggressively absorb? Huh! Suddenly, the heavenly mechanism pavilion master slightly frowned. There are visitors. He vaguely sensed 2 nascent soul realm auras. I'll go greet them. Jiang Fan was eager, saying, then I'll go see Yoren and Silin. He was about to descend on his sword, but the heavenly mechanism pavilion master held his shoulder, rebuking him now that you've placed yourself under the Yunyang master's tutelage. You should show her some respect. He nodded toward her direction. Only then did Jiang Fan notice. The Yunyang master was sitting under a willow tree, supervising Jiang Linyuan and several seniors as they sparred. Jiang Fan immediately felt somewhat guilty. He claimed to be under the Yunyang master's tutelage, yet had never properly spoken to this nominal master. Now, since she and Su Yoren are all at the plaza, he should first pay his respects to her. Thank you for the reminder, pavilion master. He changed direction, landing near the Yunyang master. At this moment, the Yunyang master was watching a few disciples spar with full concentration. Her face covered with a few traces of worry. At this rate, I fear they'll return empty-handed again from their trip to the underworld. If they could just master this combined attack technique, it would be great. With this technique, not only would their strength vastly increase, but they could also combine 7 senses to find hidden spaces. She lowered her head, looking at the yellowed bamboo slip on her knees. This was a powerful cultivation technique of high earth-level grade. The heavenly mechanism pavilion had only this one copy. However, the cultivation conditions were extremely demanding, requiring more than 5 people to cultivate simultaneously, and it's extremely difficult to comprehend. She's had it for half a year, yet hasn't deciphered it, let alone passing it on to Jiang Linyuan and the others. Perhaps I should lower my pride and ask the pavilion master for guidance? As she was murmuring, a voice with a gentle smile reached her ear. Master, how about letting me have a look? Master suddenly raised her head. A face filled with a gentle smile, elegant and handsome, appeared before her eyes. Jiang Fan, she exclaimed with surprise, then quickly remembered something, pulling her face down. Who are you? Do we know each other? Why are you randomly calling out to your master? How come the master is acting coy? Jiang Fan took out a portion of the resources gifted by the North Sea Demon Emperor. Wasn't I out there searching for resources for my senior brothers and sisters? Upon seeing this, Yunyang Master's eyes lit up. With her sharp eyesight, she naturally recognized that these were rare items in the vast sea, sufficient for Jiang Linyuan and the others to break through to another level, but as a master she kept her composure, lightly coughing. Oh, so you are Jiang Fan. Don't disappear for a month like this again, all right? Jiang Fan chuckled softly, picked up the bamboo slip on her lap and glanced over it quickly, although this was also an earth-level high technique. But because it was a combined attack technique, it was much easier to comprehend compared to the Heavenly Thunder 6 parts. Quickly, he picked up a pen and scribbled down his insights. Master, here. Yunyang Master took it and looked at it. She immediately stood up in shock. Many of the puzzles she couldn't understand were perfectly answered in this insight. The combined attack technique is hopeful now. Jiang Fan, my disciple, you truly surprise your master. The commotion in place attracted the attention of Jiang Linyuan and a few others, discovering it was Jiang Fan. They all came over with unpleasant expressions. Xianxia crossed her arms, holding up her bosom, and huffed. Junior brother Jiang, you've been missing for a month. Do you have your master in your heart? Aren't you going to apologize to your master? Because of recruiting Jiang Fan to the master's door, she had suffered many grievances. But Jiang Fan, the rascal, vanished without a trace. In the end, she bore all alone, unexpectedly. Yunyang Master immediately stopped her, lightly rebuking. Presumptuous! How are you speaking to your master's favorite disciple? Xianxia's mind took a moment to process. No way I was helping you to speak, master. Why are you reprimanding me instead? She was utterly baffled as she said, Master, didn't you yourself say Jiang Fan is insensible? You said he was an unfilial disciple, said he doesn't have you in his heart, said you wanted to expel him from the sect, also said. She couldn't continue. Yunyang Master had already taken out a ruler, lightly patting it in her palm, and said faintly, "Shang Shikyu, are you sure I said these things? Do you want your master to use the great memory restoration technique to help you remember?" Shang Shikyu shivered. Quickly said, "Oh, I remember now. This is all my own words." Yunyang Master snorted. "If you dare to spread rumors about your master again, I'd expel you, this unfilial disciple." She then looked at Jiang Fan, her face full of warmth. "Jiang Fan, distribute the resources to them. Save Shang Shikyu's share." Jiang Fan smiled slightly, divided the resources from the vast sea into 7 parts and said, "Senior brothers and sisters, 1 portion each, don't disdain it." Upon seeing this, Jiang Linyuan and the others revealed expressions of surprise. With the underworld exploration approaching, obtaining such resources was indeed a timely help. They finally understood why the master, who had been grumbling about Jiang Fan for a month, suddenly changed her attitude. Who wouldn't like such a good disciple who finds resources on his own? All 6 of them received the astonishing resources in turn. Finally, it was left for the pitiful Shang Shikyu to edge closer. "Junior brother Jiang, I'm sorry. Senior sister's voice was a bit too loud just now." Jiang Fan laughed heartily, giving her the last portion of the resources. Shang Shikyu immediately beamed with joy. "Ha ha ha, I knew you cared about me the most, junior brother. It wasn't in vain that I brought you into the sect when no one else wanted you." Upon hearing this, Jiang Fan showed a slightly odd expression. The matter of recruitment was becoming more and more suspicious the more he thought about it. He tentatively asked, "Senior Sister Shang, during the month I was away, did Vice Pavilion Master Yu and Vice Pavilion Master Gu do anything to you?" As soon as Shang Shikyu listened, she puffed up angrily. "Don't mention those 2 old fools. Ahem, the old cuties. I was attending Vice Pavilion Master Yu's class, listening attentively. She said I put her in a bad mood and sent me out. Vice Pavilion Master Gu was even worse. She said I walked in with my left foot first and accused me of being disrespectful, throwing me out. That's crazy, how did I offend them?" Jiang Fan couldn't help but twitch his lips. Instantly, he figured out most of it. Yunyang Master also had a smile on her lips. Clearly, she already knew some of the inside story. Thinking about how she was able to grab the prized disciple Jiang Fan from under the noses of the 4 Vice Pavilion Masters. Felt an instant joy both in body and mind. All right, I'll teach you a set of combined attack techniques. Jiang Fan, you're coming too. I need to assess your strength first so that I can arrange your position among them." "Assess me. Isn't Yunyang Master at the 9th layer of core formation? If assessing, what if she accidentally loses face publicly? If I use my full strength, she might not be able to handle it." Jiang Fan rubbed his nose and said, "Master, I have my own team. I might not encounter senior brother Jian and them during this trip to the underworld. Let's skip the combined attack techniques." Yunyang Master snorted. "I know you're powerful. The news of you wiping out the giant sect has spread throughout the heavenly mechanism pavilion. But your master has been at the 9th layer of core formation for many years, not comparable to those elders of the giant sect. Assessing your strength is more than enough. Don't worry about making your master lose face." With the Tianji Pavilion disciples flocking to the 9 sect to hunt hell beasts. To some extent, they had all had contact with the 9 sect people. The matter of Jiang Fan wiping out the giant sect naturally couldn't be hidden, spreading thoroughly. Having his thoughts exposed, Jiang Fan felt helpless. He had no choice but to say, "All right. Then, Master, be careful. Your disciple's strength has recently improved a little bit." Yunyang Master confidently smiled. "Bring it on. If I can't even handle my disciple, I don't deserve to be a master." Reluctantly, Jiang Fan had to follow Yunyang Master, moving to the center of the square, in the Pavilion Master Hall. "Turns out it's senior brother Yun Huo and senior sister Kaian Lan. It's been 20 years since we last met." The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master showed an expression of surprise. There was both a bit of happiness and a few traces of astonishment. These 2 were once part of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, from the same master, the old Pavilion Master. Later, they left Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion and went far to Taikang State, joining the Fire Worship sect together. And now, this was their first meeting after 20 years. Yun Huo was still quite cordial, standing up and smiling warmly. "Tianju, it's been 20 years. You've also broken through to the nascent soul realm." On the other hand, Kaian Lan Fairy, although in her 40s, still retained her elegant demeanor, faintly visible of her extraordinary past demeanor. She gave the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master a cold glance, saying, "So many years and still only a one-orifice nascent soul." The old pavilion master's judgment wasn't all that great, huh? Yun Hu's face slightly changed upon hearing this. Qian Lan, don't be disrespectful, Qian Lan Fairy said indifferently. Just speaking the truth. If the old pavilion master had given the opportunity to break through to nascent soul to junior brother Tianju and let us fend for ourselves back then. And the result? After 20 years, we've not only broken through to nascent soul, but also opened up the second stage nascent soul. While the old pavilion master's most favored junior brother Tianju is still at one orifice nascent soul. Yun Tianju smiled faintly. Unaffected by her sarcasm, he said, "The two of you came all the way from the fire worship sect. You must be here for something, right?" Qian Lan Fairy didn't waste words and said, "We want that bottle of true spirit blood." Tianju maintained a faint smile and straightforwardly refused. "That is reserved for the disciples who have worked hard to earn merit." "Sorry, I can't give it to you," seeing Yun Tianju being so unyielding. Qian Lan Fairy's face turned cold and she said, "Yun Tianju, back then, when the old pavilion master let us fend for ourselves, we didn't take a single copper coin from the heavenly mechanism pavilion. Now, trying to take back a bit of what's ours, you keep making excuses." Yun Tianju gave a faint smile. With his hands behind his back, he said, "Senior sister Qian Lan, it seems you've forgotten. Let me help you recall, junior brother. The old pavilion master called the three of us and asked who would be willing to inherit the pavilion master position, to carry on the goals of our predecessors and seek the legendary ancient saint. You refused, and Yun Hu, senior brother, also refused. Only I agreed. Thus, I accepted the opportunity to break through to the nascent soul realm, and as a result, I have since been guarding this gradually declining heavenly mechanism pavilion. Meanwhile, you both were completely freed to do as you pleased. If you felt wronged, why didn't you take up the pavilion master position back then?" Qian Lan Fairy bit her lips slightly, momentarily at a loss for words. Yun Hu, senior brother, sighed softly. With a face of guilt, he said, "Junior brother Tianju, your aptitude was better than both of ours. You also wanted to explore the outside world more than we did. But since both junior sister and I refused, and no one would take over the heavenly mechanism pavilion, you couldn't bear to see the old pavilion master regret on his deathbed. So you reluctantly accepted the pavilion master's responsibilities. If you had gone to Taikang State, with your potential, you likely would have reached 3 or even 4 apertures in the nascent soul realm by now." A hint of regret flashed in Yun Tianju's eyes. He then returned to his calm demeanor and said, "Let the past end here. I was actually very happy when you two arrived. Guarding the heavenly mechanism pavilion alone is truly lonely." He shook his head. With a flurry of his sleeve, he said, "Everything in the treasury of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion belongs to the disciples of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. This is a rule passed down through generations. It has never changed in the past, and it won't change today. You may leave now." Qian Lan Fairy showed unwillingness on her face and involuntarily released her second stage nascent soul aura. Yun Tianju cast a glance at her, saying, "Junior sister, do not attempt to duel me within the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. You will die." Seemingly realizing something, Qian Lan Fairy's expression changed slightly. She hurriedly restrained her aura and anxiously looked at Yun Hu, senior brother. The latter helplessly cupped his hands again, saying, "Junior brother Tianju, the two of us have encountered some troubles in our recent cultivation. We need that bottle of fire attribute true spirit blood. Can we exchange something for it? Rest assured, we won't let the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion suffer a loss." Yun Tianju gently shook his head. "It can only be exchanged using merit." "Merit?" Yun Hu, senior brother, looked troubled. He realized that Yun Tianju was giving them a chance to explore the unknown space on the 10th layer to earn merit. But how dangerous is the 10th layer? The old pavilion master was grievously injured there, which led to his final instructions. Yet, considering the troubles they faced, he had no choice but to grit his teeth and say, "Fine, I'll explore the 10th layer. What about you, junior sister Qian Lan?" Qian Lan Fairy gritted her teeth, glaring resentfully at Yun Tianju. "You're truly heartless, not considering our past friendship in the slightest." "Fine. I'll go to the 10th layer and use my own skills to obtain the true spirit blood," Yun Tianju smiled. "Then I'll trouble senior brother and senior sister to wait another day. It will only open tomorrow." Clap, clap at this moment. The plaza outside suddenly became lively. Sounds of cheers and applause came through. Yun Hu, senior brother, asked in surprise, "Junior brother Tianju, what is this?" Yun Tianju chuckled lightly. "It should be an impressive spar, drawing cheers from the disciples." Scenes like this have been happening frequently recently. very much like 20 years ago when he was still a disciple. Such an atmosphere really brings back memories. Just a sparring match between some young disciples, what's so impressive about that? Qianlan Fairy sneered. Before you returned, I evaluated those disciples of yours. The best ones are Yi Bangxia, Li Shangqiu, and Wang Chongling, barely reaching 9th layer perfection in the core formation realm. On this continent, they are naturally top-tier prodigies, but in Taikang State, they're like commonplace fish. Yun Hu, senior brother, rebuked. Qianlan, how could you say that? These three, even among the major sects of Taikang State, would be considered first-rate prodigies. It's not easy for junior brother Tianzhu to cultivate three such talents in such a barren environment. Yun Tianzhu smiled. He didn't say much more, although their strength cannot compare to the elite prodigies of Taikang State. There are a few disciples whom I believe, in the future, their achievements will not fall short of the elite of Taikang State. In his mind, he recalled Jiang Fan, remembering him bowing and pledging to carry on the predecessor's legacy. Let's go have a look. Their current spirit and vigor are somewhat reminiscent of us back then. Qianlan Fairy chuckled dismissively. Following behind the two of them, she strolled out at a leisurely pace. Trailing behind Yun Hu, senior brother, and her were a disciple, each following silently. They also brought a disciple on this trip to see the connecting sky-black pillar and broaden their knowledge. The group arrived at the entrance of the main hall. Seeing disciples originally scattered in groups of 3s and 5s now gathered in a large circle in the plaza. 3 layers deep inside, 3 layers outside. Cries and cheers continuously erupted. In the center of the crowd, Yunyang Master was filled with shame and anger. Jiang Fan, make your move. Don't worry about me, she never dreamed. She was just evaluating a disciple, yet it turned into a nightmare she couldn't escape. She asked Jiang Fan to demonstrate his current cultivation. Jiang Fan obediently complied. At 9th layer of core formation. Just like her, his teacher, she was stunned on the spot. A month ago, when Jiang Fan joined the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, he was only at the 6th layer of core formation. Now, a month later, he's at the 9th layer. What kind of joke is this? At the 6th layer of core formation, Jiang Fan already had the ability to annihilate the entire giant sect and kill several 9th layer practitioners. Now at the 9th layer, does it even need to be said what his capability is? She was most likely not his match now. How could she continue the evaluation? She was put in a tough spot because as soon as Jiang Fan broke through to the 9th layer, it attracted everyone's attention. Knowing that Yunyang Master was evaluating the disciple Jiang Fan, everyone urged them to fight a match, to see if the disciple was stronger or if the teacher was more powerful. It was hard for Yunyang Master to back down now. She had to brace herself for sparring with Jiang Fan. If she defeated Jiang Fan, it would be fine. If she lost, could she still pride herself on being Jiang Fan's mentor? Jiang Fan felt helpless. He had already said no evaluations, no evaluations. Now look, he could only glance around and say, fellow senior brothers and sisters, I just broke through to the 9th layer of core formation. My realm is unstable. My strength is lacking. Let's not embarrass ourselves. Disperse, disperse. Unexpectedly, Yunzi was right in the crowd. Ever since Jiang Fan was taken away, he had been so angry that he couldn't sleep all night. Jiang Fan acquiring 8,000 merit points left him sleepless for another night. You think that's the end of it? 2 days later, Jiang Fan completed a task tracking the Hell Beast, earning 10,000 merit points, causing another sleepless night for him. He had grown to hate the master-disciple duo of Xianxia and Yunyang Master. Now, seeing Jiang Fan's significant progress in power, surpassing Yunyang Master, his mentor, Yunyang Master was about to be embarrassed. Could he let this chance slip by? He immediately shouted, Yunyang Master, can't you control your disciple? If it's not possible, just admit defeat. As the Vice Pavilion Master, I'll reluctantly take Jiang Fan under my wing. Who could stand such provocation? Yunyang Master was furious and yelled, Jiang Fan, strike. Jiang Fan was helpless. He had no choice but to spar with the Yunyang Master. He couldn't exert all his strength, nor could he show weakness too obviously. Only then could he preserve the dignity of the Yunyang Master. Master, forgive me for my offense. Thunder, Dragon, Lightning Leg. He performed a move that had been forgotten in the corner of his mind. Combined with the 9th layer of core formation cultivation, its power wasn't strong, but it wasn't weak either. The Yunyang Master let out a slight sigh of relief. If this was the extent of his strength, it wasn't too bad. Cloud Flipping Seal. She formed a seal with her palms, powerful spiritual power coalescing into a massive illusory seal, crashing down fiercely. In the crackle, the two forces dissolved against each other. It was hard to distinguish superiority. Again, Yunyang Master attacked once more. Jiang Fan could only pretend to go through the motions, endure for another dozen or so moves, and then find a way to feign defeat. At the entrance of the pavilion master hall, watching was Yun Huo, who displayed slight surprise. Who is this boy? To have ninth layer core formation cultivation at such a young age. Not much different from Xianxia. The heavenly mechanism pavilion master smiled with a hint of pride. His name is Jiang Fan. A new disciple came in at the 6th level of core formation, and now he's at the 9th layer. His rapid progress even startled me. 3 levels in a month. Qian Land Fairy couldn't help but be amazed. In a place like Taikang State, with abundant resources, breaking through 3 levels in a month was rarely heard of. Is this one of the characters you mentioned as having hope to rival the top elites of Taikang State? The heavenly mechanism pavilion master smiled. He is the most hopeful. Qian Land Fairy coolly scoffed. Don't speak too soon. Many prodigies rapid in early cultivation get stuck at 9th layer core formation in later stages and can't achieve perfection, which is common in Taikang State. In a month, he broke through 3 levels. His foundation might not be stable. Yun Hu's expression turned to concern upon hearing this. Such fast cultivation speed makes it difficult to stabilize the foundation. Forced growth brings endless harm. Even if he stumbled to 9th layer core formation perfection, he would certainly fail during tribulation. Qian Land Junior Sister, you're overthinking. He is recognized by the Dharma Seal Vajra for enlightenment. How could he fail in this? What? Qian Land Fairy and Yun Hu shook their pupils in unison. How is it possible? He made it to the Dharma Seal Vajra's enlightenment list? Qian Land Fairy's eyes flickered with surprise and a hint of jealousy. She didn't even have such a disciple, yet Yun Tianzhu, living in such a remote continent, got one. I feel his cultivation technique is mediocre. Can this attract the Dharma Seal Vajra? Has his eyesight deteriorated? Ying Shuang. Standing coldly behind her was a female disciple who stepped forward. Master, please instruct. Qian Land Fairy stared at Jiang Fan meaningfully. Your fiancé was also enlightened into Buddhism by the Dharma Seal Vajra, wasn't he? At that time, was he also at the 9th layer core formation? Luo Yingshuang showed a flash of pain in her eyes. Said solemnly, yes. Qian Land Fairy said, just in time, test this Jiang Fan. See how he compares to your former fiancé. Yun Hu's eyelids twitched. Junior sister, don't make trouble. Ying Shuang is someone at the 9th layer core formation perfection, cultivating your proud technique, Qian Land True Fire technique. How could Jiang Fan handle that? The heavenly mechanism pavilion master's cold rejection had already left Qian Land Fairy burning with internal anger. Seeing him acquiring a formidable disciple made her even more envious. Now she's definitely nitpicking. Would she listen to reason? Yun Huo, senior brother, is joking. Would someone recognized by the Dharma Seal Vajra be so incapable? Qian Land Fairy again looked at the heavenly mechanism pavilion master. Tianzhu, let Ying Shuang test Jiang Fan's strength. You don't object, do you? The heavenly mechanism pavilion master smiled indifferently. I dislike doing meaningless things. I believe Jiang Fan feels the same. How about this? Don't you think Jiang Fan's cultivation technique is mediocre? Then let your disciple fight Jiang Fan, and if she loses, give the Qian Land True Fire technique to Jiang Fan. Qian Land Fairy's eyes turned cold. Qian Land True Fire technique was a peerless fire Dao skill obtained by risking her life for the fire worship sect. Its level is Earth level high. Why should she give it to Jiang Fan? However, looking at Jiang Fan struggling even in sparring with the Yunyang master, with a slight thought she found it secretly amusing. What am I worried about? Worried Ying Shuang would lose? She restrained her sharpness and said calmly, all right then. If Jiang Fan wins the Qian Land True Fire technique by skill, I have nothing to say. Ying Shuang, go ahead. Luo Yingshuang nodded and stepped onto the battlefield. The heavenly mechanism pavilion master smiled slightly, his whole body circulating nascent soul power. Looking poised, ready to act at any moment. Yun Hu was taken aback, and then understood the heavenly mechanism pavilion master was concerned for Jiang Fan. Worried he might be hurt by Luo Yingshuang, Qian Land Fairy said, Tianzhu, relax. Ying Shuang is a prudent child. She won't hurt your treasured disciple. She silently found it amusing. She's seen protective masters, but not ones who hold disciples as if they'll break in their palms or melt in their mouths. The Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master replied, "I am not worried about Jiang Fan. I am worried your disciple might die here." Jiang Fan's strength unknown to others was clear to him. If he truly attacks, Luo Yingxuang would surely die. Qian Land Fairy's face stiffened slightly. At this time, Jiang Fan was deftly sparring with Yunyang Master. Under his control, he was currently falling into a disadvantage. In another 3 to 5 moves, he would naturally lose. Resolutely avoiding the crowd witnessing a disciple beating his master, which would be quite a scene. Yunyang Master also exhaled lightly. Praising Jiang Fan's tactful behavior in her heart, she planned to reward him heavily once done. However, just as the master and disciple pair were deeply engaged in their charade, a tall, graceful figure stepped past the crowd, forcefully inserting into their fight. Her palms, each covered with a layer of blue flames, struck out towards the two of them. The Yunyang Master sensed the strength of this fire, immediately retreating, showing surprise. Jiang Fan also felt the unusual nature of this fire and quickly dodged, but a spark of flame brushed past Jiang Fan's arm. With a whoosh, his sleeve was burned into a long scorch strip. The skin beneath was reddened from the heat. "Who are you?" Jiang Fan frowned, scrutinizing the unfamiliar woman before him. "Does the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion have such a senior sister?" Luo Yingxuang looked at Jiang Fan and said, "Don't worry about who I am. Fight with all your strength, or if you get hurt, don't blame me." Saying that, she directly attacked. The blue flame-covered palms joined, then opened. A blue lotus flower emanating dangerous energy. Feeling this woman's aggressive force, Jiang Fan's brow raised. Could this person be a friend of Li Xianxia? In the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, he only had conflict with Li Xianxia and his Wuji team. Thinking this, he naturally wouldn't hide any strength anymore. With a cold face, he said, "You better worry about yourself." Nail instantly pierced into Luo Yingxuang's mind. Her elegant brows slightly furrowed. It was clear it caused her some pain. "Soul's secret technique," Luo Yingxuang showed a hint of approval. "Stronger than expected, yet not as strong as my fiancé." Every prodigy on the Dharma Seal Vajra list exhibits traits far superior to others of the same level. Jiang Fan's displayed strength couldn't meet the list's standards. An insignificant duel? She shook her head slightly, but the next moment, she seemed to sense something. Glancing fixedly, she saw a majestic Tenjiang deity statue appear behind Jiang Fan from nowhere. 6 arms simultaneously bombarded towards her. "What is this?" Luo Yingxuang's pupils shrank, and she hurriedly tossed the blue flame lotus in her hand. The lotus suddenly bloomed, petals flying, landed on the arms of the statue, burning it away. "Undying blade!" Before Luo Yingxuang had dealt with the statue completely. A terrifying thunder sword, 800 zhang long, descended fiercely from the sky. Luo Yingxuang's pupils narrowed into a needle, and she let out a startled cry. She hurriedly activated the blue flame within her, condensing it into the form of a precious saber, and fiercely chopped towards the descending thunder sword. But this time, the blue flame didn't exhibit its magical effect. The thunder sword merely suffered some damage, yet continued its unimpeded strike. Luo Yingxuang's slender figure was instantly struck by the raging thunder sword. That was not all. The thunder sword exploded. A countless force of thunder and lightning pounced towards Luo Yingxuang, intending to burn her into charcoal on the spot. At the critical moment, a gentle power emerged out of nowhere, shielding Luo Yingxuang below. That lightning shockwave was completely absorbed by that power. Only then was Luo Yingxuang spared from severe injury or even potential death. The audience was silent. The originally entertained Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion disciples exchanged wide-eyed stares. What was that final thunder sword? Could Core Formation 9th layer really withstand it? Luo Yingxuang, now saved, sat on the ground, staring wide-eyed at Jiang Fan. As if she had seen a ghost. This strength was far superior to her fiancé. This person was definitely worthy of being Dharma Seal Vajra named for enlightenment. Jiang Fan frowned. Gazing towards the source of intervention, he found it was the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master, and was surprised. "Jiang Fan, come over here." The Pavilion Master beckoned with a smile. Jiang Fan suspiciously glanced at Luo Yingxuang, then quickly moved in front of him. "Pavilion Master!" He also saw Qian Land Fairy and Yun Huo. Both looked at him with slightly shocked eyes. These two should be the guests the Pavilion Master mentioned earlier. Immediately he cupped his hands. "Greetings to both seniors." The Pavilion Master smiled and looked at the two. "Senior brother and sister, didn't I say this young man has the best chance to compete with the elites of Taikang State?" Do you still think I was exaggerating now? Yun Hu swallowed lightly, not hiding the shock in his heart. Junior brother Tianzhu, is this truly a prodigy cultivated by this continent? Are you sure he's not a top disciple from some major sect in Taikang State? That previous strike, hardly anyone below nascent soul could withstand. Such strength surpasses many elite disciples of Taikang State. The pavilion master laughed heartily. Which elite disciple from a major sect would leave their sect to come here? True enough. Yun Hu admired jokingly. Tianzhu, would you let this disciple come with me? I'll take him back to the fire worship sect. Surely the sect will reward him. I'll share half of the reward with you. How about it? The pavilion master beamed with pride. There was indeed a sense of arrogance swelling within. No matter the hardship on this barren continent, hadn't he discovered top-level disciples that even his senior siblings envied? He chuckled, then looked at the stunned Qian Lan fairy, saying, Senior sister Qian Lan, Dharma Seal Vajra did not misjudge, right? Qian Lan fairy then returned to her senses, her face alternating between pale and flushed. After a while, she forced out a sentence. Quite good, but needs to strive more. The truly formidable Taikang State elites, some are already left down nascent soul. Some have even succeeded in tribulation crossing, joining ranks with us. Seeing her stubborn attitude, the pavilion master felt quite pleased. Jiang Fan had once again fiercely won pride for him. How could he not protect such a disciple more? Thinking about this, he said with a smile, Senior sister Qian Lan. Since Jiang Fan won the bet, what about the Qian Lan true fire technique you promised? Qian Lan fairy's face suddenly froze. Her heart sank heavily, almost forgot she had indeed promised it in a bet. A wager she thought she could never lose, and yet she lost. She pursed her lips slightly, hesitant to speak. That Qian Lan true fire technique was something she risked her life for and now give it away. Senior sister Qian Lan, if losing is hard for you, it's okay. Junior brother can understand. Such words ignited Qian Lan fairy's fury. She could tolerate being underestimated by anyone except Yun Tianzhu. It's just a cultivation technique, what's hard to lose? She took out a fist-sized stone from her space storage ring, glowing crimson like a burning iron, engraved with countless characters. Take it! The pavilion master happily received it, gently smoothing away its heat. Only then did he toss it to Jiang Fan. It's yours now. This is the supreme cultivation technique of the fire worship sect. Cultivate it well. Jiang Fan instinctively caught it, realizing the pavilion master had secretly gained him another benefit. Thank you, pavilion master. Thank you, senior Qian Lan. Qian Lan fairy's heart ached, staring intently at Jiang Fan, saying, Don't thank me too soon. You may not even be able to cultivate this technique. Without my years of experience teaching, entry level itself will be difficult. Instead, why not return it to me? I'll give you resources for hopefully reaching core formation 9th layer perfection. Resources would be more practical for you. Is it really that difficult? Jiang Fan curiously observed the engraved characters, saying, Turns out it's an earth-level high technique. Then there's no issue. I'll still choose this technique. Just what I need. Thinking of the mysterious furnace in the divinity transformation relics, Jiang Fan's eyes revealed a hint of longing. Only by cultivating the fire Tao can he have the ability to retrieve that furnace. Otherwise, touching it would disintegrate him instantly. Qian Lan fairy raised her delicate brows. That tone of yours. Could you possibly be confident in comprehending? Jiang Fan pondered, deciding to extinguish her thought of reclaiming the technique. He looked again at the content of the first layer, then snapped his fingers. A wisp of azure flame gently appeared on his chest. The blue glow illuminated 3 frozen faces. Hugh gasped coldly. In his rapidly contracting pupils, a bright blue flame was reflected. Sister, junior sister. You've always said that the Qian Lan true fire technique is difficult to cultivate. Were you deceiving everyone? Otherwise, how to explain a junior who glanced briefly at the technique and quickly found the way? The heavenly mechanism pavilion master also widened his eyes. Yes, he knew Jiang Fan was exceptional, but he swore he never knew Jiang Fan's comprehension was so terrifying. This is an earth-level high technique. Just one look and he understood the entrance key? In Taikang State, it could be considered a miracle. Qian Lan fairy covered her cheeks with her hands, her eyes widened, doubting if she was seeing things. This wisp of flame represented the first entry level. She pondered alone for a month before successfully condensing a small flame. This little disciple succeeded right away. Honestly tell me, did anyone teach you the Qian Lan true fire technique? Qian Lan fairy's lips turned slightly white, clinging to the last bit of fantasy. Evidently, she had already begun to enter the stage of doubting life. Jiang Fan shook his head. This is my first time seeing an Earth-level high fire attribute technique. Swish, swish, Qianlan Fairy paled and staggered. She was actually inferior to a little disciple, a disciple of Yun Tianzhu. Yun Huo hurriedly supported her. Junior sister, be careful. Qianlan Fairy pushed him away and staggered toward the distance. Leave me alone. Let me calm down on my own. Watching her departing figure. Jiang Fan looked puzzled, whispering, Pavilion Master, what's wrong with Senior Qianlan? Did I upset her? But I've already held back a lot. Initially, I could condense a larger flame. Qianlan Fairy heard it from afar. She staggered and almost fell to the ground. The heavenly mechanism Pavilion Master rubbed his nose. No, Qianlan Fairy, as a nascent soul senior, has a big heart. Such a thing didn't upset her. It just critically hit her. At this moment, he also laughed secretly. The proud peacock-like senior sister was made to doubt life by Jiang Fan? Ha ha ha, Jiang Fan was speechless, giving me stuff yet being stingy. This teacher aunt is really petty. Thank you, Pavilion Master, for getting me this technique. I'll go down to cultivate now. Wait. The heavenly mechanism Pavilion Master took out a mass of blood-colored flame enveloped in Buddha's light from his chest. Jiang Fan recognized it. It was compensation left to the heavenly mechanism Pavilion Master when the Dharma seal Vajra captured the double-headed hellhound and destroyed the transmission array hall earlier. Said to have been obtained from the 10th layer, named Asura Karmic Fire. Just as cultivating the heavenly thunder 6 parts requires thunder power, cultivating Qianlan true fire technique also requires the extraordinary fire of heaven and earth. Take this Asura Karmic Fire. Be cautious during cultivation. This karmic fire is extremely dangerous. Even nascent souls have difficulty resisting it. Jiang Fan was overjoyed, saying, Thank you, Pavilion Master. The heavenly mechanism Pavilion Master chuckled softly. Go ahead. Jiang Fan took back the flame and technique, smiling, and returned to Yunyang Master's side. Master, don't call me Master. Yunyang Master, with a flushed face, said, I can't bear this shame. Only then did Jiang Fan realize. After his battle with Luo Yingshuang, he showcased top-level strength, suppressing the 9th layer perfection of core formation. Everyone understood now that Jiang Fan was holding back during his sparring with Yunyang Master. Master is inferior to the disciple. The entire heavenly mechanism pavilion only has me. Yunyang Master spoke with shame and grievance. Her eyes soon turned red. Who would have thought? An advancement from the 6th level to the 9th layer of core formation in just a month. Isn't this a cheat? I am too embarrassed to face people. Cough, cough. Jiang Fan chuckled awkwardly and took out a piece of spiritual meat wrapped in lotus leaf. Master, don't cry, okay? Disciple will give you a bit of spiritual meat, as long as you've stayed long enough at the 9th layer of core formation. After consumption, breakthrough to perfection will be a breeze. Yunyang Master sniffed and only then noticed the extraordinariness of the spiritual meat. 100 years. No, it's 1,000-year-old spiritual meat. But how can I accept your things? Yunyang Master was eager yet hesitant. Indeed, this spiritual meat could propel her further. Yet she hadn't given Jiang Fan anything and instead received his gift. Thinking it over, her eyes lit up, solemnly retrieving from her chest a portable, exceptionally precious jade box. A damaged talisman emitting strong spiritual pressure appeared before her eyes. At first glance, somewhat similar to a mid-grade dustless talisman, but its spiritual pressure was even stronger than mid-grade. Jiang Fan was startled, nervous. Could it be a high-grade dustless talisman? Yunyang Master, seeing no one around, quickly stuffed it into Jiang Fan's sleeve, whispering, This was acquired from my early explorations in the underground world. It's a somewhat damaged high-grade dustless talisman. A true high-grade can escape detection from the divinity transformation realm. This slightly damaged one can easily evade detection from late-stage nascent soul. Late-stage nascent soul. Jiang Fan's eyes revealed joy. This is definitely a great treasure. Master, why don't you keep it for yourself? This item is too precious. Yunyang Master raised her hand to stop his attempt to return it. There's little danger left in the 9th layer requiring me to use such a talisman. As for you, it's different. I've heard you're being targeted by a hell beast with jealousy. Consider this talisman a gift for your self-defense. To justify calling me master so many times. She patted Jiang Fan's shoulder, regretfully saying, It's all my fault for being weak, having favored disciples, yet unworthy as a master. I'm going into seclusion now. In the underground world, if you encounter Jiang Linyuan and the others, please consider helping them out of trouble as fellow senior brothers and sisters. Jiang Fan was moved. Nodded, saying, "Yes, Yunyang Master." Continuing to call her master would only embarrass Yunyang Master, watched her leave. A fragrant breeze swooshed from behind. Su Yoren's eyes glimmered with joy. "Fan, have you become this powerful?" Qingxian also smiled bitterly. "Both my sister and I have advanced to the second level of core formation. Thought we had narrowed the gap significantly with the sixth level of core formation you had. Who knew the gap is still so wide?" Before coming to the heavenly mechanism pavilion, neither of the two had even reached core formation. A month later, they were both second level of core formation. Back then, Jiang Fan spent so much effort seeking a spirit pill to break through the second level of core formation. In the heavenly mechanism pavilion, it only required being a disciple of the vice pavilion masters. Can't help but marvel at the importance of resources. Jiang Fan hugged the two women, helplessly saying, "Why are you comparing yourselves to me?" Su Yoren hesitated. Qingxian paused for a moment, saying, "We don't want to hold you back or cause trouble for you." Jiang Fan narrowed his eyes, sensing a hidden meaning. "What, something happened during the month I was absent?" Su Yoren's eyes flashed with a hint of panic. "No, no." Qingxian, however, gritted her teeth and said, "My husband, that Yu Tiandu, harassed my sister again. 1 month without news from you, he thought you were dead. Then he tried to court my sister, and when rejected, he said some lewd remarks. Luckily, Vice Pavilion Master you appeared, chased him away in time, or who knows if he'd attempted something unsavory." A flash of cold light appeared in Jiang Fan's eyes. Initially, when that person harassed his 3 women, Jiang Fan had taught him a lesson. Seeing how he couldn't win, he instantly turned docile. At the time, Jiang Fan felt this kind of person skilled in patience couldn't remain. Now his prediction was proven correct. After just a month of his disappearance, old patterns re-emerge, once again targeting Su Yoren. Master Yu has already given him a lesson. The matter is over. Su Yoren didn't want to cause Jiang Fan any more trouble. Jiang Fan scanned the surroundings coldly. At the moment, not to mention Yu Tiandu, there wasn't a shadow of the expedition team to be seen. It was probably because they saw Jiang Fan return and hid in fear. "Hide! Can you hide on the 1st and hide on the 15th as well?" Jiang Fan suppressed the coldness in his eyes. Murderous intent had arisen in his heart. That Yu Tiandu must be killed. Anyone else who tells him to forgive, to be magnanimous, and blames him for being too murderous. Such brainless people should die too. He regained his composure, gently rubbed Su Yoren's hand, and said, "This kind of thing won't happen again in the future. Don't worry." Su Yoren remained silent. Having spent so much time together, she naturally understood that Jiang Fan seemed calm, but he actually had murder in his heart. She bit her lips slightly, feeling a bit disgusted with herself. Aside from troubling Jiang Fan, what else can she do? She gritted her teeth and secretly made a decision. "Junior brother Jiang." Liang Feiyan, as usual, was oblivious to the atmosphere. She ran over recklessly. Su Yoren and Qingxian quickly left his embrace and stood elegantly to the side. "What's the matter?" Jiang Fan asked irritably. Liang Feiyan said sheepishly, "It's not my fault this time. Someone who claims to have been abandoned by you in the East Sea asked me to deliver a message. He's waiting for you by the beach. There's an important transaction." "Abandoned in the East Sea?" Vice building owner Gu. "But what transaction do I have with him? Weren't grievances wiped clean?" After thinking for a moment, he decided to attend. He brought out the last part of the resources gifted by the North Sea Demon Emperor. "Yoren Silin, this is for you." He gave both women a generous amount, also gave Liang Feiyan a significant amount of resources. "By the way, what about Xia Keoj, Liu Qingxian, and that Gu Zinner?" Liang Feiyan smiled blissfully as she held the precious vast sea resources and said, "Junior sister Liu is still in seclusion. Haven't seen junior sister Xia for a day. That Gu Zinner. She is too busy, like a little bee executing tasks every day. From dawn till dusk her eyes are black-ringed. As a result, I can't slack off either and follow along executing tasks." What is that Gu Zinner working so hard for?" "Good," Jiang Fan said, "then continue with your cultivation sparring. I'm stepping out for a bit." Jiang Fan naturally knew where vice building owner Gu's appointment at the seaside was. It was precisely the place where he was deceived by her disguised as Liu Qingxian. Of course, it ended with her taking advantage of him completely. Before long, Jiang Fan arrived and indeed saw an adorable, charming silhouette clad in a pink short sleeve, a beige skirt with flying tresses. She turned around, revealing a pair of bloodshot eyes beneath her unique face-painted theatrical mask. HMPH, really impressive. Abandoning me at the East Sea while you fled. Jiang Fan replied with a smile, if I stayed, would your injury heal faster? Gu Zinner was too lazy to argue with him further. Anyway, once she attained the Moon Realm, she'd beat this guy thoroughly. Then their grudges would be completely settled. The building owner found what was promised to you and asked me to deliver it. Building owner? Jiang Fan's spirit was sharply roused. Jade paper heavenly book. As gratitude for saving the life of Jiangshan first-class building owner. Gu Zinner took out a piece of jade paper with a radiant glow, looking unwilling to part. The building owner mobilized the entire Jiangshan first-class building's resources, spending a month to finally find one. The price was extraordinary. It's worth noting that the business empire of Jiangshan first-class building spans the entire Taikang state, stopping everything to search for the jade paper heavenly book. The sacrificed gains can be astronomically described. Jiang Fan was equally stunned. The building owner, indeed placing significant value on credibility, achieving a promise worth millions in gold. He took the jade paper heavenly book, with considerable damaged inscriptions, yet much better than the one he had. With two pieces together for enlightenment, he would definitely elevate his soul to the nascent soul level. Also known as the left-down nascent soul, his power would surge accordingly. After a pause, Jiang Fan asked, would you consider making a transaction with me? Gu Zinner crossed her arms and said, depends on what you're selling. Jiang Fan still has quite a lot of good stuff. She was quite tempted. Jiang Fan took out an Iron Man exuding yin qi. As soon as he took it out, Gu Zinner immediately recognized it, exclaimed, the secret techniques of the great yin sect. Heavens, what do you not have? From the 10,000 tribulations holy temple great yin sect. Are you really not afraid of their fixation? These two outer realm divine sects are notorious for being difficult to provoke. Jiang Fan said, just say whether you want it or not. Gu Zinner's eyes sparkled. Of course I want it. The great yin sect's techniques are a hot commodity. What do you wish to trade this for? A flash of brilliance sparked in Jiang Fan's eyes. I want to ask you to protect someone during a tribulation. Stop anyone disrupting her breakthrough, and if she fails, rescue her from the heavenly tribulation. Gu Zinner pondered for a moment, asked, when is it? Jiang Fan said, in 5 days. Upon hearing the timeline, Gu Zinner frowned heavily. Could it be later? In 5 days, I must return once to Jiangshan first-class building to handle an important matter. Jiang Fan shook his head. Gu Zinner was quite regretful. Then it's unfortunate. She wasn't willing to give up. How about this? I have extra purple flame which you hand over to the tribulation participant, and if there's interference, let him scatter this purple flame. Unless one reaches the 3rd level of nascent soul, they'd surely be cautious. Oh, Jiang Fan's gaze flickered. He had witnessed the power of Vice Pavilion Master Gu's purple flame. The dragon binding chain melted direct. He suspected this purple flame could even melt those few chains in the divinity transformation relics. Therefore, he readily agreed. All right, deal. Thus, Gu Zinner joyfully acquired the Iron Man, and Jiang Fan obtained the purple flame. All right, farewell. Gu Zinner picked up her items and decisively ran off. Jiang Fan, however, didn't return to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion right away. He gazed towards the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion Master's Tribulation Land and murmured, it's time to cultivate the undying blade to perfection. Thunder Pool. Xianxia Cultivation, bathed in layer upon layer of thunder breath, her whole body exuded a crystalline glow. She swallowed the thunder breath in large gulps. Layer by layer of thunder power gathered into a distinct black and white Tai Kai thunder map on her chest, emitting a strand of dangerous aura. She slowly opened her crystal-clear eyes, a smile of expectation on her lips. What expression will Master Uncle have upon seeing me also practicing Heavenly Thunder 6 parts? Will he be dumbfounded? Thinking about it, she couldn't help but chuckle at this moment. An unusual sound came from outside the valley. Her expression changed slightly, saying, someone's coming. Why now? She glanced at the clothes on the shore, too late to put them on now. Xianxia Cultivation was just about to yell at the others to stop, not to come over. But then she thought that revealing her cultivation in Thunder Dao Divine Power would be exposed. She intended to give Jiang Fan a surprise. So she quickly stored her clothes into a gem storage ring on her neck. Then she took out a strange, 5-colored orb and swallowed it. In the next instant, the person disappeared right where she stood. Just at this moment, a figure hurried over. Xianxia, in her invisibility, looked towards the newcomer and discovered it was Jiang Fan. A smile appeared on her face, and she instinctively said, "Maz." Fortunately, she reacted in time. "Oh, it's Uncle Master." Xianxia smiled slightly. She suddenly wasn't so nervous anymore, quietly watching Jiang Fan approach the thunder pool. "Was it just an illusion?" Jiang Fan murmured, slightly puzzled. "I seem to hear Xianxia's voice." He looked around and saw no one else. "Is it because I haven't seen her in too long?" HMPH. Xianxia felt a tinge of grievance rising in her heart. "You still know, huh? Your eyes only see Su Yoren, Chen Silin, and Liu Qingxian. I'm standing right in front of you and you can't see me." The last time they had a proper conversation was when executing Concubine Yuxia's task. Since then, even meeting once was hard. Sigh. Jiang Fan, after looking around, gazed up at the clouds in the sky and said, "Won't 2 more women fall from above later?" "Ha." Xianxia puffed her cheeks slightly. "Uncle Master came here last time to cultivate, and there were women accompanying him from the sky. What a flower-bed gentleman. I'll keep an eye from the side today, see who dares to come down from the sky to seduce Uncle Master." But very quickly, she regretted it, because Jiang Fan had already started taking off his clothes. Her pretty face turned red, and she quickly turned around. After Jiang Fan removed his clothes, he stepped into the thunder pool with a puzzled expression. "Strange, why has the thunder power diminished so much? It's not even half of what it was last time." This discovery made Jiang Fan a little gloomy. He had wanted to keep this place to continue cultivating with the rest of the heavenly thunder 6 parts in the future. It seems another disciple cultivating the thunder path had used this place, and the other's thunder Dao divine power was quite powerful. Otherwise, they wouldn't have absorbed so much. Upon hearing this, Xianxia covered her mouth and chuckled softly. "Silly Uncle Master. Of course I absorbed it. But don't worry, Uncle Master, I'll pass on my heavenly thunder 6 parts to you too. Hope you achieve 6 chapters combined soon." Under her beautiful gaze, Jiang Fan had already begun cultivating. Huge chunks of thunder power were absorbed into his body, merging into the thunder pill. About a 2-hour period later, the thunder arc in the thunder pool was absorbed until only a thin layer was left, barely visible. This tribulation land that existed for 20 years was completely exhausted by him and Xianxia. Fortunately, the absorbed thunder arc was just enough for him to cultivate the undying blade to perfection. He raised his arm and slashed fiercely at the sky, deliberately choosing a part of the sky without clouds. SZZZZ, a gigantic thunder sword stretching 2,000 feet long, spanned across the sky, unleashing earth-shattering power. The previous strike of Green Crane Masters was not as strong as this one. It's even comparable to a strike from a second-stage nascent soul. The tremendous power surprised Jiang Fan himself, eyes filled with excitement. "This is a trump card indeed. Who would have thought my undying blade is twice as strong as the 10,000 Tribulations' holy temple?" Xianxia covered her small mouth with both hands, eyes full of amazement. Worthy of being Uncle Master. With just this strike, he could contend with a second-stage nascent soul. But Jiang Fan's next sentence made Xianxia furrow her brows again. "That female ghost of the underworld dare to capture my spiritual pet. This thick and long sword is a reward for her to taste." Xianxia's pretty face blushed. She glared teasingly at Jiang Fan. She was all flushed from listening to this. "That female ghost must be a beautiful ghost too, right? Otherwise, Uncle Master wouldn't be so insistent." And mentioning the female ghost, Jiang Fan recalled something. He turned his palm over, revealing several shattered, ghostly green crystals. They were the answer to the question from Jiangshan first-class building owner. One of the rewards was moon viewing wine. The other was the ghost soul crystal in front. According to the building owner's explanation, these crystals could originally trap a nascent soul, but unfortunately, they were shattered. Jiang Fan accepted them to try and see if he could restore them through concentration. Thinking of which, he looked around, making sure no one was coming, then took out the mountain river tripod and poured the ghost soul crystal fragments inside, then activated it. A tease time later, the shattered crystals indeed reconsolidated, formed into a palm-sized, prison-like square crystal. HMPH, if that female ghost is obedient, I'll imprison her in here. If not, one sword strike will turn her to dust." Xianxia slightly puckered her lips. "Is Uncle Master really dealing with that female ghost? Does he want to play imprisonment? But Uncle Master does have many treasures. That little tripod, I seem to recall seeing it somewhere before." After finishing this, Jiang Fan didn't stop cultivating. then took out the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. Seeing this item, Xianxia felt a bit scared, worried that the 5 magnetic divine light might burst out, revealing her on the spot. She was completely undressed now. Fortunately, Jiang Fan took out a pile of stones similar to the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. Then, also took out a jade bucket full of mysterious 5-colored spiritual liquid. The 5 magnetic Yuan mountain hasn't been used for a long time. Already hard to suppress the 9th layer of core formation perfection. Let's hope this 5-colored spiritual liquid can rejuvenate the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. What excited Jiang Fan was. As Ren Guheng stated, there's some relationship between this 5-colored spiritual liquid and the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. When near the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, the mountain gently trembled. Thinking a bit, he took a 5-colored stone, dipped a little 5-colored spiritual liquid, and then stuck it to the mountain. A miraculous scene occurred. This stone entirely merged into the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, without a trace of a gap. This liquid truly is useful. Jiang Fan was overjoyed. Hurriedly followed the same procedure, dipping stone pieces in 5-colored spiritual liquid and sticking them onto the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain. After a 2-hour period, a bucket of 5-colored spiritual liquid was all used up, and more than half of the stones hadn't yet merged. And the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain already twice its previous size. The pressure emitted, whether for the 9th layer of core formation perfection or even a one-orifice nascent soul taking a hit, would feel very uncomfortable. "Haha, old partner, you can make a comeback in the world again." Jiang Fan held the now 2-hand-sized 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, not wanting to let go. Looking at the remaining pile of stones, he said with some regret, "It's a pity the 5-colored spiritual liquid is gone. Otherwise, all stones gathered up could directly suppress the Sky Demon Emperor, leaving him unable to rise, unable to harm." Xianxia crossed her arms, thinking, "This 5-colored spiritual liquid should be from a divine mountain spring, right? Seems very important to Uncle Master. Then I'll find a way to get some back for him." Jiang Fan stored away the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain, and took out the stones of the Qingxian Land True Fire technique and the blood-red Usura Karmic Fire. Fire series techniques can also exhibit grand skills in the underworld. Moreover, the most important thing is, I can use this to cultivate something entirely new. Void Flow Fire Force. Thunder Force, he dared not openly use it. As a result, the highly effective 5 magnetic divine light was also restricted. Because once the 5 magnetic divine light is activated, only the Void Flow 5 forces can traverse it, necessitating the use of Void Flow Thunder Force. Presently, if he could cultivate Void Flow Fire Force, the problem would be solved. He immediately sat cross-legged and carefully perused the Qingxian Land True Fire technique. The profound meaning of this technique is somewhat similar to the Heavenly Thunder 6 parts, as it requires condensing a fire pill within one's body, accumulating the world's rare flames. As more rare flames are acquired, the power of the Qingxian Land True Fire technique will continuously increase. According to the scripture, the Earth level high is merely the lower limit of this technique, ensuring practitioners won't be weak after cultivation. But the upper limit is determined by the level of flames absorbed. Theoretically, there's no upper limit after a 2-hour period. Jiang Fan comprehended the cultivation method and began to operate his meridians, slowly absorbing the Usura Karmic Fire. Half a day later, he formed a handprint with both palms, and a lotus flower slowly emerged from his palm, exactly the same as what Luo Yingxu displayed. The difference is, his lotus is blood red. The temperature is even hotter. If Master Ant saw that I've achieved small success in just one day, wouldn't she faint on the spot? Jiang Fan chuckled with amusement. Immediately, he clenched his palm, and beneath his arm, a blood-red meridian flashed by. It was the pathway of the Void Flow Fire Force. Void Flow Fire Force, great success. Looking at the time, there was still half a day left until the underworld opens, so he quickly took out 2 pieces of jade paper. Xianxia behind him looked surprised. Jade paper heavenly book, and it's 2 pages. Even Master Uncle is able to get this kind of thing. She smiled a bit. Master Uncle wouldn't mind if I tag along and peek, right? Whatever. After all, he's my uncle, I'm the junior. Can it be called stealing when a junior looks at an elder's things? She quietly came up behind Jiang Fan, poked her head over and silently recited the names on the paper along with Jiang Fan. It indeed had a mysterious power. As Jiang Fan silently read, his soul was nourished, gradually strengthening. The thin line separating him from the nascent soul realm soul was rapidly diminishing. He too was sinking deeper in the recitation, forgetting his surroundings. Until the bell from the heavenly mechanism pavilion summoning the disciples rang. He suddenly woke up startled. How many 2 hours was I lost for? Xianxia behind him also woke up suddenly, secretly amazed. No wonder it's the jade paper heavenly book, it's so overbearing. Our souls were both trapped in it. Wait, my soul has reached the 9th layer of core formation perfection. This time I really benefited greatly from Master Uncle. He. She was quite proud. Jiang Fan suddenly stood up to get dressed. Unexpectedly, Jiang Fan's back brushed against her chest. The slippery sensation shocked Jiang Fan. Someone was behind him. Without thinking, he struck backward with a palm infused with Usura karmic fire, hitting the other's chest. A solid sense of impact came. He tried to grab hold but missed due to the slipperiness. Who? Jiang Fan shouted coldly. Xianxia quickly retreated. She looked down. Not only was there a red handprint burned onto her chest, but it also stung with pain. 5 bloody scratches were also made by 5 fingers. Xianxia's face flushed. She bit her red lips, stomped her foot in embarrassment, and ran away. Jiang Fan couldn't see anyone, but his soul was unprecedentedly powerful at the moment. Without the heavy pupil crystal, he could vaguely sense someone ahead. This made Jiang Fan's expression extremely serious. How long had this person been here? Did they see him take out the mountain river tripod and soul jade paper? Thinking of this, he decisively acted. Don't go! Vastness of the Divine Lord! A divine image appeared, striking out with 6 arms. The opponent turned around. A huge black and white Tai Kai thunder map appeared. The 6 arms struck it but couldn't shake it at all. Thunderpath divine power! Jiang Fan exclaimed in surprise and doubt, wanting to chase further when the opponent used another bizarre divine skill. Suddenly they turned into 3 blurry figures heading in different directions. Doppelgangers? He quickly took out the heavy pupil crystal, wanting to see who it was, but all 3 figures had disappeared. Jiang Fan's expression darkened. Is this thunder pool poisonous? Every time I come, someone peeks once. This time they even saw the important treasures. Don't let me find out who it is, or they'll definitely not escape my wrath. Listening to the increasingly urgent bell, he quickly dressed and hurried back to the heavenly mechanism pavilion. Almost all the disciples had arrived. Jiang Fan's team, 0, was also present. Not only did Qingxian emerge from seclusion, but the missing Xianxia was also here. Xianxia, what's with your face? Why so pale? Are you hurt? Jiang Fan immediately noticed Xianxia's odd mood. Xianxia softly held her throbbing chest. Initially, it was just chest discomfort, but hearing these words made her heart uncomfortable too. She bit her red lips, glaring at Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan was dumbfounded. What's wrong with being concerned? Why look at me that way? Qingxian wrapped an arm around Xianxia, chiding him. Girls have a few uncomfortable days each month. Why mess around with concern? 1 month without seeing her, and the moment you do, you make her feel embarrassed publicly. All right. Jiang Fan awkwardly gave in. Just as he turned his head, he noticed a small palm stretched out in front of him. It was Gu Zinner. She pouted angrily. Hand it over. Jiang Fan was puzzled. Do I owe you something? Gu Zinner took out a list, densely packed, detailing all the tasks she completed for the team this month. A total of 32 missions, earning 200 merit points for the team, breaking the 10-year individual task record holder. So, team leader, is my contribution to the team enough? Jiang Fan scratched his nose. This seemingly cute little girl was actually a task fanatic. All right. Seeing her working so hard, he temporarily acknowledged her as a team member. Immediately, he took out a moon realm fragment and slipped it into her palm. Gu Zinner beamed with joy. Finally, she got her hands on the moon realm fragment. All right, time to reveal the truth. It's time to drop the act. I am Gu Zinner, and now I'm going to give that bastard a beating. At this moment, Jiang Fan took out a strange little bean, saying, To encourage you all to explore the underworld, I've prepared personal rewards. This is a snack for divinity transformation realm experts, extremely valuable. When the time comes, whoever helps me earn the most merit will receive this little bean as a reward. Getting 100,000 merit points is as hard as climbing to heaven. This can only spur teammates to desperately search for various hidden spaces. Gu Zinner, on the verge of revealing her plan, suddenly froze, both her eyes fixated on the little bean as if she had seen a ghost. Master, did I see wrong? In his arms, the remnant soul of the hairpin showed an expression of shock on her face. You didn't see it wrong. That is indeed the dragon marrow seed that disappeared 1,000 years ago. Heavens in our time. Finding even one was incredibly difficult. This kid actually has one? Those in the nascent soul middle stage and below, consuming one can open a single orifice. Her gaze shifted as she said, Qingxian, why don't you put in a bit more effort to get that dragon marrow seed? She thought Gu Zinner was not yet adequately tempered by Jiang Fan. Needs more work. Gu Zinner didn't want to give up so easily. She snorted softly. All right then, since Master said so. I'll just endure for now. Let's not reveal the cards yet. Xianxia seemed to recognize the item as well, a hint of surprise crossing her face. Although Liang Feiyin and Liu Qingxian didn't know what it was, they could sense the power emanating from it that even the core formation realm couldn't bear. They naturally knew it was a good thing. All were full of enthusiasm. Liu Qingxian gave a mysterious smile and said, "This bean belongs to me." Jiang Fan laughed helplessly. "Why do you say that?" Liu Qingxian whispered into his ear. "Fan, I dreamed of that elder teaching swordsmanship again, and it's an even more powerful technique." Hiss! Jiang Fan was shocked. When? The swordsmanship taught by that elder was truly extraordinary. Liu Qingxian recalled, "About a month ago, shortly after you left. Precisely speaking, it was around the time the connecting sky-black pillar appeared. I was cultivating, suddenly fainted, and then the elder appeared in my mind, teaching swordsmanship." The connecting sky-black pillar summoned Liu Qingxian's dream narration. Jiang Fan felt waves rising in his heart. The appearance of the connecting sky-black pillar could bring such changes. It's hard to say whether it's a good or bad omen. The time to open the underworld has arrived. Are all teams prepared? The heavenly mechanism pavilion master hovered over the square. Behind him were Yun Huo and Qian Land Fairy, along with their 2 disciples. As the sound of eager cheers arose, the pavilion master said, "Then line up to enter the underworld. Limited to 3 days." Last time, Jiang Fan's record of 8,000 merit truly infused a burst of energy into them. All wanted to replicate Jiang Fan's glory. A crowd came to the transmission hall in great numbers, eagerly competing to enter the hall. Only Jiang Fan unhurriedly remained at the end. Gu Zinner anxiously said, "What are you waiting for? If others seize the opportunity, we won't have a chance." She was now more concerned about the dragon marrow seed than Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan glanced at the entire assembly of teams, coolly stating, "No rush. They haven't explored it thoroughly for decades, so I don't mind waiting a little longer." Liu Qingxian knew in her heart that Jiang Fan was waiting for Yu Tiandu to appear, to settle the account of this person harassing Su Yoren. "Fan, we can't let such a person off lightly. Last time he was spared, yet he still hasn't changed at all," she said with a cold expression. Although the one affected was Su Yoren, in such matters, she must stand united with Su Yoren outside. However, they waited until all teams went down. Yu Tiandu and his expedition team were nowhere to be seen. Gu Zinner showed disdain, probably scared by your previous display of strength, daring to provoke someone's woman but not brave enough to face the consequences. All talk but no courage, what a cowardly character. He should learn from some people who have both the desire and the guts. Jiang Fan raised his eyebrows. Why does it feel like that last remark was directed at him? Probably not. He had no quarrel with Gu Zinner at all. He hadn't even touched a single finger of hers. Never mind, as long as I'm standing here, he won't show up. Waiting is meaningless. They better pray they don't encounter me in the underworld. Let's go. The Zero team stepped into the hall. As they teleported down, a group of expedition team disciples hidden in the shadows finally revealed themselves with complex expressions. They hailed from beyond the region, yet were so intimidated by a local junior disciple that they sneaked about. Truly disgraceful. Mu Ying, filled with resentment, raised a fist and struck Yu Tiandu's chest, rebuking, "Are you satisfied now? Last time Jiang Fan already warned you that there wouldn't be a chance to apologize again. Judging by his demeanor, he certainly won't let you off easily. You can only hope for your own safety. Don't drag us down." Yu Tiandu's face turned blue and white. To say he didn't regret it would be untrue. To be honest, Su Yoren was too alluring, and she happened to be alone at the time. He couldn't resist and went to flirt a bit. Who would have thought that Jiang Fan, who had disappeared for almost a month, wasn't dead, but instead had terrifying advancements in his strength? Now this was a big problem. But thinking about them entering the underworld, a glint of malice flashed in his eyes. HMPH, on the surface I'm afraid of him, but in the underworld he should be afraid. Mu Ying was startled, sternly admonishing, "Shut up. Do you want to die? If you expose our secrets, we won't even be able to enter the underworld. Hurry up," as the expedition team entered the underworld. Not long after, Yunzi brought Su Yoren over. Yoren, have you thought it through? On the 10th layer, I can only accompany you for a short while, but dare not go too deep. It's really too dangerous, and even with my one-orifice nascent soul, I may not protect you, so you need to be mentally prepared for zero harvest. Su Yoren bowed deeply. Master, I'm already grateful that you would accompany me to such a perilous place. How could I dare ask for more? Yunzi sighed. Actually, you don't need to take the risk. Jiang is a person who values love and righteousness. You've been with him since the start, and this bond he will never forget. In the future, he will continuously provide you with resources, uplifting you to grow together. Su Yoren had a calm but very firm expression as she said, but shouldn't mutual support between husband and wife be the norm? Upon hearing this, Yunzi understood his intent. He no longer tried to persuade her. I hope you have luck and find opportunities for Jiang Fan in the 10th layer, Underworld. Jiang Fan navigated the group smoothly to the 9th layer. Take out your moon realm, activate it now. Next, we'll split up to search for hidden spaces and need to maintain timely contact. The 5 each took out a piece of moon realm fragment, immediately dropping essence blood into them. Jiang Fan instantly sensed a connection with the moon realm. The group immediately tried writing on them. 5 sentences appeared in the 5 moon realm. Everyone exclaimed in wonder. Jiang Fan frowned. This seems too chaotic. There's no way of knowing who's who. Make sure to write your name before speaking. Liu Qingxian was quick to respond and wrote a line, Main Consort. Remember my name. Xianxia chuckled softly, swiftly writing, Among the flowers, I'll write Main Consort, Madam. Liang Feiyan lifted her pen and wrote, Never a spoil sport. Promise not to tell junior sister Sue. Gu Zinner curled her lips. Death Diary, I'm your cutest little junior sister. Jiang Fan's forehead sprouted a row of black lines. What kinds of ridiculous names are these? The 4 of them looked at Jiang Fan together. They wanted to see what name Jiang Fan would choose. Jiang Fan thought for a moment. Everyone else was using aliases, writing, Jiang Fan would be too conspicuous. After a brief thought, he picked up the pen and wrote a line. Choose a good name, separate and search for the hidden space, contact each other in time. They thought Jiang Fan would come up with some interesting name. Is that it? Liang Feiyan rolled her eyes. Choose a good name, huh? Let me help you. Foolish King. You have 3,000 beauties in your harem, who else but you deserves the name of Foolish King? Jiang Fan angrily kicked him. Scram, all right, let's move separately. Time is very tight. The remaining 4 nodded, quickly shedding their joking demeanor, and each went their separate ways. After a month of intense training, their strength had improved significantly. They were capable of acting alone in the 9th layer. Jiang Fan's eyes flashed, and he directly used Cloud Shadow to appear in front of Hua Xin's hidden space. But upon arriving, he discovered this space had been completely trashed, as if someone had raided it. What happened here? Jiang Fan exclaimed in shock, just as he finished speaking. The surrounding space fluctuated, and a woman in white as snow, resembling Concubine Yunia, appeared out of nowhere holding a little Qilin. Her 2 pitch-black eyes stared at Jiang Fan. Isn't it all thanks to your little spiritual pet? As soon as Hua Xin saw Jiang Fan, she was furious. He had snatched her yin marrow talisman, and now she was a homeless, wandering ghost. Jiang Fan immediately noticed the little Qilin and found that it not only wasn't hurt, but seemed to have gotten fatter. He couldn't help but beam with joy. Little Qilin. The little Qilin was also overjoyed, and its 4 short legs bounced as it attempted to leap into Jiang Fan's arms. Hua Xin pressed down on its head and said, You ungrateful little thing. Can't you ever be properly raised? Tell your owner to return my item first. Jiang Fan took out the yin marrow talisman and said, First tell me, what is this thing used for? Why does the double-headed hellhound fear it? Hua Xin replied, Why should I tell you? Throw the yin marrow talisman to me first and I'll release your little spiritual pet. Also, you need to compensate me for my space abode and pay me for the fright, soul nourishment, emotional distress, lost wages, and the little Qilin's care. No tricks, no using any memory silver sand, no bargaining. No, she was still speaking. Jiang Fan put the yin marrow talisman back into his arms. I see the little Qilin has gotten fatter with you. Then keep helping me raise it. Raise it until it's 18, then I'll come to claim it. After saying this, he turned and left. Hua Xin was taken aback. Wait, shouldn't you at least bargain a bit? Just leaving like that? Not taking the little spiritual pet? No, he wants her to help raise it until it's 18 before taking it away. You want me to raise your son, and only come back for him 18 years later? Hua Xin was so angry her nose was crooked. Only this bastard could come up with such a wicked idea. Come back, just returning the yin marrow talisman is enough. Jiang Fan ignored her. Are you really leaving? Don't leave, I'll compensate you a bit, all right? Jiang Fan still paid no attention. Hua Xin got anxious. I'm begging you to be a decent person. Ever since you took the Yin Marrow talisman, my strength has significantly diminished, and I've been constantly chased by the other 3 ghost kings. Seeing Jiang Fan still ignoring her, Hua Xin said, all right, I'll tell you. The Yin Marrow talisman is a credential for commanding Hell's army. Only someone with strength above the Asura king can use it. Jiang Fan took out the Yin Marrow talisman. His eyes showed a trace of shock. Commands Hell's army, including the incredibly powerful double-headed Hellhound. What kind of strength does the Asura king have? Hua Xin answered, equivalent to your human's divinity transformation realm. Hiss. Such powerful beings indeed. Jiang Fan thought, suspiciously scrutinizing Hua Xin from head to toe. He remembered the Prince of Beihai's speculation. This Hua Xin might be the remnant soul of some significant figure, not merely a condensation of sinister energy. Sister Hua Xin, how about we do an interesting little test? Upon hearing the word sister, Hua Xin trembled all over, instantly felt something ominous. The last time Jiang Fan called her sister, this dog tricked her out of the Yin Marrow talisman. She had developed a mental shadow over those words. No way! Don't come over, stay away from me. If you dare to come over, I'll die right in front of you. Jiang Fan laughed, took out the soul-suppressing Buddha beads and said with a smile, Sister, don't be afraid. It'll just bind you a bit, nothing to worry about. As soon as he finished speaking, he suddenly threw out the soul-suppressing Buddha beads. The beads immediately locked onto Hua Xin. Jiang Fan was secretly surprised. Is she really a remnant soul, but at the same time a remnant soul? The 6 Path Masters only had a wisp of fog left, yet Hua Xin was so complete. Moreover, she's been through at least 1,000 years. It's unimaginable what her original self must be like. With a swish, the soul-suppressing Buddha beads wrapped around Hua Xin. However, Hua Xin's soul was very powerful. Not easily twisted like the previous nascent soul. It only bound her upper body. Moreover, she was in the process of breaking free with faint signs of escape. Hiss! Hua Xin's soul is indeed extraordinarily powerful. Jiang Fan dared not let such a mysterious remnant soul get away. If he made a move, he had to succeed. Otherwise, the consequences would be endless. 5 magnetic divine light. He summoned the 5 magnetic Yuan mountain and imprinted it. A divine light covering a range of 60 feet suddenly enveloped her. The divine light subdued all things, including soul power. Just as Hua Xin was struggling, she immediately let out a wretched cry and collapsed softly on the ground. Jiang Fan immediately channeled Void Flow Fire Force into his palm, pondering how to deal with her. To kill or not, there was no deep-seated hatred between them. If not, she'd definitely be a threat at this moment. The freed little Qilin ran between the two, blocking Hua Xin, stretching out its arms as if to protect her. Master, don't kill sister. She treats me well. Jiang Fan naturally knew she treated the little Qilin well. Otherwise, how else could the little Qilin grow so plump? Fine, I'll spare your life. But you'll have to endure for a while until I become strong enough not to fear you as a threat. He took out the ghost soul crystal. Hua Xin, firmly bound, resigned herself to the inevitable and did not resist. Looking at the small figure of the little Qilin standing in front of her. A touch of emotion appeared in her eyes. Little thing, sister didn't love you for nothing. All right, I've stayed in the underworld long enough. Seeing the outside world would be nice. And I'll teach you to be a good, righteous, and kind beast. Don't follow your master's bad example, she emphasized righteous and kind heavily. Obviously insinuating something. Jiang Fan's face darkened. Why so much nonsense? You should be laughing for getting away with your life. I was ready to deal you a sword before coming here. Hua Xin's face flushed and she retorted, What nonsense are you spouting? Don't lead the kid astray. The little Qilin blinked its innocent big eyes. Scratching its head utterly clueless, Jiang Fan also blinked his innocent big eyes. After a while he understood Hua Xin's meaning, couldn't help but cough up blood. You indecent ghost woman, ruining my pure heart. I'll capture you now. He tossed out the ghost soul crystal. Dark rays emanated from the crystal, enveloping Hua Xin. In the next instant, Hua Xin disappeared. A small, ethereal Hua Xin figure appeared inside the ghost soul crystal. She adapted well. Immediately began setting up her usual essentials, decorating her new home. To her, the ghost soul crystal was a cage, but wasn't the 9th layer below ground too? Just that the 9th layer was a bit more spacious. Beep beep having just dealt with Hua Xin. A sound suddenly came from his bosom. He took it out and it was the moon realm chiming. There was a line of text. Death Diary, hidden space discovered. Xianxia are in a fierce battle competing for space exploration rights. Hurry over. Jiang Fan's eyes lit up. This Gu Zinner is really working hard. She found the intel so quickly. Additionally, it must be said that the moon realm is incredibly useful. It can instantly notify everyone. He was just about to act. But the little Qingxian jumped onto his shoulder with a piece of paper in its mouth. Jiang Fan took it and looked. He found diagrams drawn on northeast, southwest, and north. He didn't understand the other diagrams, but when he saw the diagram at the very bottom, he immediately understood. This one at the bottom is Hua Xin, and each of the other 3 directions has something as powerful as Hua Xin. Hua Xin, who was arranging the room, heard this and immediately widened her eyes. No, how can you tell this is me? You and your master should ask yourselves honestly, am I really that ugly? Huh, you tell me. Jiang Fan rubbed his ears that were numb from the shouting. His fingers brushed past the ghost soul crystal, isolating her screams temporarily. Then he looked at the painting with joy. It seems that there are 3 more extensive hidden spaces. Little Qingxian, you've helped me tremendously. The little Qingxian grinned and burrowed into Jiang Fan's arms. Its little behind jolted a bit, finding a comfortable position to lay down. Beep, beep. Death Diary. Oh no, Xianxia one, she's entered the hidden space. Jiang Fan was surprised. This woman is really powerful. She can actually suppress Li Shangyu and Wang Chongling by herself. The latter 2 are both 9th layer of core formation perfection, not to mention, they each have a team. She alone suppressed 2 teams. This strength is really intimidating. Jiang Fan immediately sent out a message. Pick a good name, do not concern yourselves with them, everyone head north, there's a hidden space there. Death Diary, main palace, received. In the flowers. We're on our way. Never spoils the scenery on the road. Not long after, Jiang Fan, guided by the little Qingxian, arrived at a land shrouded in blood mist. Gu Zinner and others arrived one after another. How do you know a hidden space is here? Are you sure? Gu Zinner looked puzzled. Liang Feiyan excitedly said, when junior brother Jiang speaks seriously, you can believe him 100%. If he says it's there, it definitely is. Is it? Gu Zinner closed her eyes and utilized her soul power at the nascent soul realm. She indeed found there was something wrong within the blood mist, because her soul power was blocked by something, indicating there was indeed an anomaly here. Jiang Fan discovered it too. After reading the jade paper heavenly book, his soul power had successfully broken through the bottleneck, reaching the nascent soul level completely. Such powerful soul power, yet it was barred outside. It shows there truly is a situation within the blood mist. He pondered for a moment, then clasped his hands together, and when he parted them again, a blood-red lotus appeared between his palms. Go! The petals of the lotus scattered instantly, transforming into sparks falling into the blood mist. When the blood mist encountered the sparks, it was akin to snow meeting flames. It visibly disappeared. You're seeking death! The hostility in the blood mist suddenly surged. A gloomy creature formed entirely of blood mist rushed out. However, before it could become rampant, a shadow of the thunder sword descended, covering the sky. The blood mist didn't even put up any decent resistance before it exploded into wisps of fog and dispersed. Inside the ghost soul crystal, Hua Xin turned pale watching this scene. This bastard, his strength compared to last time has increased dramatically. Luckily, I amused the little Qingxian, and it pleaded for mercy for me. Otherwise, I would die worse than the blood-bone ghost king. Liu Qingxian and Liang Feiyan were also shocked by Jiang Fan's strength. Jiang Fan slaying 9th layer of core formation perfection was indeed effortless. With a wave of his sleeves, Jiang Fan dispelled the lingering yin-chi of the blood-bone ghost king and glanced at the cave mansion hidden within the blood mist. He pondered and spoke to the few people behind him. How about this? The merit for exploring the cave mansion belongs to me. All the items inside belong to you. I urgently need a large amount of merit to exchange for something. How could they disagree? The cave mansion was discovered by Jiang Fan. The wraith was slain by Jiang Fan. They got to reap the benefits without any cost. How could they refuse? Jiang Fan was the first to step into the cave mansion. The mansion wasn't large, similar in size to Hua Xin's. It was filled with various heaven and earth spiritual treasures, but they weren't much use to Jiang Fan at this point. All right, you can come in now. He gave an instruction, then casually looked around. Suddenly, he found in the corner of the mansion a black crystal growing from the ground, emitting incredibly strong yin-chi. Inside faintly contained a trace of space power. "What is this?" Jiang Fan was surprised and released the mute on Hua Xin, saying, "Why has this thing grown from underground?" Hua Xin could finally speak again. She angrily said, "Brat, dare try to silence me again? Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. Just like the black crystal in front of you, dare to touch it and you'll be ripped apart instantly." "Oh," Jiang Fan showed surprise. "The black crystal is this dangerous? This is something grown from the 10th layer. About a month ago, for unknown reasons, the 9th layer suddenly sprouted dense black crystals. I speculate there must have been some mutation in the 10th layer. These black crystals pierced through the partition between the 2 layers, appearing in the 9th layer. If it shatters, the space power inside will erupt, tearing all creatures nearby apart. Furthermore, it might even open a pathway to the 10th layer. You know how many dangerous things reside in the 10th layer, right? If even one emerges, all of you will perish." Gasp. Jiang Fan didn't say another word and immediately backed away. He advised everyone not to approach the black crystal, his heart both shocked and suspicious. Again about a month ago, matching the appearance time of the connecting sky black pillar, Liu Qingxian and others immediately began searching within the mansion and indeed found valuable resources. Even Gu Zinner couldn't help but reveal a smile. Is there anything in the world happier than getting something for nothing? All right, let's head to the next place. Following the map, Jiang Fan headed west shortly after they left. A group arrived at the blood mist location out of breath. They were none other than the expedition team. They arrived excitedly, only to have their expressions freeze. The blood mist had dissipated, and the hidden mansion within had been thoroughly explored. Clearly, someone had explored it. This was unacceptable for Yu Tiandu, who arrived in high spirits. What happened? Wasn't there supposed to be a hidden mansion here? At this moment, a bamboo tube flew out of Mu Ying's arms on its own. Mu Ying and others had their faces change. All kneeled, prostrating on the ground. The bamboo tube's lid popped open. A sinister claw reached out from within. The bamboo tube turned out to be a space magic treasure. Next, another claw reached out, followed by a face with sharp horns on its head resembling a human's. Finally, there was his majestic and powerful figure. He hovered in the air, emanating an awe-inspiring and dominating presence. The intensity of the aura was even stronger than Qingxian Master. It was clearly a 3 apertures nascent soul being. If Jiang Fan were here, he would definitely recognize it. The tall horned man in front of him was identical to the alien corpse he saw in the spiritual tablet cave. It was a hell creature. "Greetings, Master Qingxian." Mu Ying, Yu Tiandu, and others trembled, eyes full of awe and fear. Qingxian crossed his arms over his chest, looking at the now-ruined blood-bone cave mansion. His lips curled slightly. "Interesting. Someone dared to be so naive to compete with me for things." Mu Ying lay prostrate on the ground. His eyes were full of fear and regret. Not long ago, their group of 20 accidentally discovered an ancient underground palace. At first, they thought they had found a hidden cave dwelling and gained great opportunity. Who would have thought? Waiting for them was a ferocious alien race, sealed for countless ages. It drained the blood of 10 people alive, reviving its withered body. Only 10 were left, becoming its blood slaves. The reason there were only 7 left was because blood slaves, apart from being at its disposal, were also its mobile blood bags. Whenever its body weakened, it would feed on their blood. The 3 people who disappeared died from having their essence blood drained on the way from Taikang State. "It's all because you're useless." Qingxian looked down at Mu Ying and the others kneeling on the ground, speaking indifferently. "If you had obtained the Moon Realm, you could have dispersed and acted in the underworld. You wouldn't have allowed others to seize the opportunity." Upon hearing this, the group trembled uncontrollably, because when Qingxian got angry, he would drain someone's blood as a warning. Qingxian's indifferent gaze swept over, like scanning his own food without any emotion. His gaze shifted. He landed on Yu Tiandu, speaking lightly. "Come over." Yu Tiandu's face turned paper-white instantly, his entire body trembling uncontrollably, his teeth clashing with a clattering sound. "Master, I was the first to surrender to you." When Qingxian appeared, he was the first to kneel and recognize him as master. Considered his first servant, Qingxian's indifferent finger beckoned, causing Yu Tiandu's body to fly uncontrollably in front of him. In his eyes, these were merely blood bags. He could drink whenever he wanted. Their loyalty was meaningless. Would humans ever treat pigs and sheep as equals due to their loyalty? No, so he wouldn't either. Yu Tiandu was so frightened he felt his guts split apart, panicking. "Master, wait, His mind spun with countless thoughts, trying to save his own life. Suddenly, he brightened up, pointing at the ravaged cave dwelling that had been explored, saying, "Master, I know who did it. This place still retains thunder power. It must be Jiang Fan." Unfortunately, Qingxian was not interested in this at all. Slowly opening his mouth, he revealed a pair of razor-sharp fangs above and below. Within his mouth were countless jagged tiny teeth, appearing menacingly. A single bite could possibly snap Yu Tiandu's neck. He is proficient in high-level Thunder Dao Divine Power. Master, haven't you always wanted to find someone skilled in Thunder Dao Divine Power? This person is the one, Qingxian's eyes flashed. Proficient? How proficient? He showed a thoughtful look. Yu Tiandu said, "A typical nascent soul expert from 10,000 tribulations holy temple can display an undying blade of 1,000 zhang. He is only 9th layer of core formation, yet he can display 800 zhang." Oh, Qingxian showed interest. 800 zhang, that's good enough. He left Yu Tiandu. His gaze shifted, summoning Meng Ping, the weakest in cultivation among the 7-member team. Without waiting for him to beg for mercy, he bit off his neck. Blood spurted out like a fountain. Qingxian bit down, swallowing it in gulps, in the span of 10 short breaths. Meng Ping was reduced to a shriveled husk. This scene made Yu Tiandu's face pale, swallowing hard. Qingxian wiped the blood from his lips, showing a hint of disdain. "Though distasteful, it's better than nothing. Let's go, I'll take you for a good tour of the 9th layer." Last time was limited. Only took you to a few small cave dwellings. Hidden cave dwellings like this one, I remember there are 3 or 4, Mu Ying respectfully said. "Yes, master." She didn't understand why Qingxian commanded them to come here from afar, also taking them through cave dwellings in the 9th layer, searching constantly, as if looking for something. But she felt that Qingxian was very familiar with the underworld. It seemed to have belonged to him once. To the far west, a smoking marsh. The marsh had been cut with deep ravines by the undying blade, revealing a stone cave dwelling hidden beneath the marsh. Gu Zinner picked up a slightly charred bunch of hair with joy. "This is called Thousand Silk Demon Charm. The hair is quite precious." Liu Qingxian discovered a spirit grass, effective in advancing cultivation. Xia Keoj found a comb radiating a spiritual pressure. Liang Feiyan had the best luck, enhancing meditation efficiency. These items in the treasure vault are worth several hundred merit points. So, even though the merit points were given to Jiang Fan, they weren't at a loss. Jiang Fan, at this moment, held onto a map drawn by Little Qilin, confirming his location. Thanks to Little Qilin's prior exploration, their search for hidden cave dwellings was incredibly easy. The only concern was, the cave dwelling was littered with dangerous black crystals. Earlier, when cutting open the marsh, they nearly shattered one black crystal, risking disastrous consequences. "Next place, we must be careful," Jiang Fan cautiously warned. He wasn't looking to fall into the 10th layer, just thinking about the double-headed hellhounds in there made him suffocate. "Once done here, we'll move to the far east. Search along the way for any small spaces missed." Seeing the loot almost completed, Jiang Fan reminded. He had secretly communicated with Little Qilin during this time, besides the 3 large hidden spaces here. There are also many small, undeveloped spaces. The largest inside could exchange for several hundred merit points, the smallest for barely several dozen merit points. But even a mosquito's leg is still meat. With just these 3 large hidden spaces here, they could at most accumulate 9,000 merit points. Add the previously acquired 10,000, and it is only 19,000. That vial of true spirit blood requires a full 100,000 merit points, leaving no room for waste. Boom! Suddenly, a violent explosion sounded nearby. Jiang Fan, deep in thought, shuddered, looking up. On the horizon, a pitch-black mushroom cloud rose. The massive impact triggered an earthquake, extending all the way to Jiang Fan's feet. His body shook, his gaze slightly focused. This doesn't seem like a nascent soul strike. Could it be the black crystal shattered? He glanced at the ghost soul crystal. Hua Xin nodded slightly, sighing heavily. Unavoidable. With so many people entering, there's always someone careless or reckless enough to shatter a black crystal. The shattering of the black crystal was not unexpected. Thankfully, it hasn't reached the 10th layer. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. I advise you to leave quickly. Following occurrences will happen where another black crystal is shattered, but not every time will be fortunate enough not to reach the 10th layer. If any vicious creatures break through, you might survive, but your companions might not. Jiang Fan's heart sank slightly. The black crystals are truly troublesome. Just when there were 3 days to thoroughly explore, such trouble emerges. 10,000 merit points not even worth considering now. At this moment, several figures were chasing and fleeing. Among them were Jiang Linyuan and a few others, along with some in red robes in the distance. Wasn't it Xianxia's Wuji team? Qingxian and others. Instantly, a look of joy appeared on his face. Just as he was about to head toward them, he reconsidered, not wanting to cause them trouble. He changed direction to escape. Jiang Fan had promised Yunyang Master that if Jiang Linyuan and his group encountered trouble, he would lend them a hand. How could he stand by and do nothing? He waved his hand and said, "Senior brother Jiang, come over here." Jiang Linyuan hesitated for a moment before bringing his group over. Of their original 7 people, only 4 were left. Among them, one male disciple was covered in blood, barely alive, cradled in Jiang Linyuan's arms. Jiang Linyuan himself was also battered, looking exceptionally disheveled. "What happened?" Jiang Fan, while taking out a revitalizing pill and feeding it to the injured disciple, gazed at the rapidly approaching red-robed figures. Jiang Linyuan's embarrassment was evident, unable to speak. Xianxia, clutching a broken right arm, had a solemn expression. "We discovered a small hidden cave mansion. Xianxia brought people over, saying we previously blocked a space full of yin qi, asking for his help. Now they want that space as payment for his help back then." Jiang Fan frowned. Didn't they not show up? He recalled that they never appeared even as the yin qi was about to erupt. Xianxia bit her lips slightly. When has Xianxia ever reasoned with anyone? He directly tried to seize, but was repelled by senior brother Jiang. Huh. Jiang Fan looked at Jiang Linyuan in surprise. Xianxia was at the 9th layer of core formation perfection, one of the 4 prodigies of heavenly mechanism pavilion. Jiang Linyuan was at most at the Jidan 8th layer. Yet, considering the invisible, mysterious woman beside Jiang Linyuan, who had once kicked him in a cheeky manner, he suddenly realized. It was most likely her doing. Couldn't believe it. Xianxia's eyes flared with rage. They're shameless. Having failed to seize, they shattered the cave mansion's black crystal when we were unprepared. That crystal was clearly dangerous, not to be touched lightly. They have explored the underworld for years. How could they not know this? They absolutely wanted us killed. She watched her former companions, reduced from 7 to 4. Tears couldn't help but fall. Jiang Linyuan's eyes slightly reddened as well, remorsefully said, "It's all because I was too stubborn. They could have it. Giving it up would have been better. Losing a few merits is better than losing 3 companions and having one severely injured." Jiang Fan's eyes carried a hint of coldness. He always felt among the heavenly mechanism pavilion disciples, any competitive tactics were fine, as long as everyone relied on their abilities. But detonating the black crystal for mere merits to harm others. Killed 3, severely injured another, and still wouldn't stop, even sending people to chase them down. Is there no bottom line anymore? He recalled on Boundary Mountain those disciples who, for merits, killed 9 sect disciples and attempted to assault Qingxian. He realized there are rotten apples everywhere. Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion is no exception. Whoosh, 4 red-robed experts from Wuji rushed over, upon discovering Jiang Fan before them. Their expressions shifted, hastily stowing their weapons and talismans, and acted nonchalantly with a smile. "So, junior brother Jiang is here. It must have been a misunderstanding, just a misunderstanding. We'll be taking our leave." Jiang Fan's strength was well known to them. One Xianxia could barely contend with him. The 4 of them couldn't possibly be his match. Huazin eyed their red robes, seemingly recognizing them, revealing a hint of disdain. "Is it them? Haha, those in red clothing are quite wicked. Before the underworld closed last time, they snatched a disciple's spatial transfer talisman, leaving him stranded at the 9th layer. He ended up dying from the 9th layer's yin qi. Oh, and I picked up his bundle and you came across a mid-grade dustless talisman. Was it him? Due to his death, Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion changed the rule. The team leader must be Jidan 8th layer or above. His death was actually caused by the Wuji team. Seeing Jiang Linyuan and his group's current torment, the chilling feeling in his heart spread. "You don't need to leave," Jiang Fan said calmly. The expressions of the 4 red-robed people changed. They exchanged glances, then immediately dispersed and ran. "Undying blade." Without unnecessary words, Jiang Fan raised his hand, sending out a 200 Jiang thunder sword to slash. 4 consecutive screams. Being all Jidan 8th layer, how could they withstand this blow? All were struck blackened and hunched over, wailing on the ground. "Jiang Fan, are you opposing us, the Wuji team?" A red-robed disciple shouted. Jiang Fan walked over, stepped on his dantian, letting the powerful power of thunder and lightning pierce through, shattering the golden core. "Ah, you crippled my cultivation." "No." For a martial artist, having their cultivation destroyed is the hardest blow short of losing life itself. Jiang Fan walked to the other 3 red-robed disciples, attempting to crawl away. One kick for each, all of them had their golden core destroyed. Jiang Fan snorted coldly. "You should be thankful that I am now part of Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Had I still been with 9 sect, you'd all be dead by now." Jiang Linyuan watched in delight, gritted his teeth, and handed the disciple to Jiang Fan, saying, "Junior brother, protect them well for me. I'll go back to rescue junior sister Leng." It was then Jiang Fan knew only 2 of the missing 3 were dead. Leng Qingxiu was captured by Li Xianxia. "I'll go with you." Jiang Fan transferred the person to Liang Feiyan. He then leaped toward the mushroom cloud's direction. He was puzzled. If there's a mysterious woman protecting Jiang Linyuan, why escape so desperately now? A sweep of soul power. Detected nobody beside Jiang Linyuan. Looking again through heavy pupil crystal, still no one. He probed, "Senior brother Jiang, where is your guard?" Jiang Linyuan's pupils trembled. "Junior brother, you know?" Jiang Fan's face darkened. How could he not know? On Boundary Mountain, kicked him publicly, almost made him fall in disgrace. "Yes, knew. Is she injured now?" Jiang Fan's eyes shifted slightly. Jiang Linyuan didn't hide, can barely count as a guard. The black crystal explosion earlier, she blocked most of the attack. Otherwise, it wouldn't be just 2 deaths. We all 7 would have perished. Jiang Fan nodded. Understood within, at the sight of the mushroom cloud explosion. Li Xianxia glanced at the wound on his chest gushing with blood, his face shadowed. "They haven't brought their heads back yet. Jiang Linyuan dared to hurt me. The last one who scratched my arm was trapped and died in the 9th layer world. Having wounded me like this, how can I let them escape without cutting off his companions' heads to make him cry and regret?" Thud, a dazed Leng Qingxiu, hands bound, was pushed to kneel before him. "Senior brother Li, what do we do with this woman?" Li Xianxia grabbed her chin, studying her comely face. His smile carried a cold edge. "So pretty, what a waste to kill her. Tie her to a rock, strip her bare. When the brothers come back, line up and take their turn." Since he had decided to eliminate Jiang Linyuan and his companions, he couldn't allow any survivors to report back. Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion is very stringent with punishments for members killing each other. Thus, Leng Qingxiu must die. Since it's so, he wouldn't mind giving the brothers a little reward. But at this moment, the dazed Leng Qingxiu suddenly opened her eyes sharply. She bit his fingers hard with her mouth. Hiss! Li Xianxia, caught off guard, fingers bit and couldn't pull them out. The stinging pain was immense. Those fingers were about to be bitten off. Anger surged within him. He drew a black blade and swung it toward her slender neck.